Welcome on board. What can I say? Look at that picture there. Lee Atlas Harding, number class 1, should I say, Mr. Universe 2015. So that's leading us up to nearly 3 years since you last competed.
It's about 2 years and like 3 months now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're in our 3rd year, that's what I meant to say. So why have you been lying low? Or it wasn't, was it? If I'm being honest with you.
I actually done my first pro Universe show a year and 3 months ago.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
So I did. So it's been just over nearly a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I've took a break since then.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but basically everything's been going well in that time. I've just been trying to work on progressing myself.
Yeah.
For the pro, obviously, to make it as a pro, obviously I need to be like another level.
Yeah.
So I've got to kind of step it up a bit. But I've been enjoying like times with my wife and giving her some of the time, taking a break from a bit of bodybuilding, still training, but like competing, just pushed it aside for a bit. But now I'm back on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just heard that I was chatting beforehand. It's like you were saying you'd been, was it recently got married? Or
yeah, it was in April last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah,
so,
it was a long time coming. I mean, me and my wife we'd actually been together for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it was just like the final step for us to be fully committed, and it's going really well. I'm so happy I did it. Yeah, it's good.
Very supportive.
Yeah, no, she's been there from the beginning of my bodybuilding career, and she's been supporting me from day one. I mean, I wouldn't have got this far without her anyway. So,
oh, bless. Cam's actually somewhere.
She is.
She's waving over at us like, yeah. So, how in what way does she help with with your preparation, and does she help with the cooking of the food and prepping meals for you? Or?
Okay, all the meal prep's done by myself. I even prep her food.
It's even, and it's really weird because I mean, when I was married, I was the same.
Yeah.
No, I'll cook my food. It's all right. I don't know why is it you do the prep? Like you cook your meals.
Because I've just got my own particular way of getting it done, and
I don't mean that. That sounds a bit sexist, but I didn't mean it like that.
I don't like somebody else interfering in my prep that I've done for so many years. Yeah. But it's not. I mean, she enjoys eating like I do, so when I want to get into shape, she kind of does it with me. Anything else I've needed other than the food part, like when I get tanned, just keeping me grounded. When I've been like proper stressed out, like 2 days out, and I've decided I look like crap, and throwing things like I've got no chance, and she's like, no, trust me, you look a lot better than you think. You know what I mean? Tried like keeping me calm and stuff, and then I've ended up winning the shows that I thought I looked rubbish at. Yeah. But like every single tan I've ever had, my wife's done from day one, and I've always been complimented highly on my tans.
Well, so go on then. Is it just covering a bit on the tanning? I mean, how do you actually perfect the tan, and what do you actually use for your tan?
I've always used the same tans, but the method of applying it has been changing throughout the years. I've always used Pro Tan spray, and then backstage I put the Dream Tan number 2.
That
instant.
I know which one you mean.
And so we used to just put it on manually with the little sponge thing that comes with it, that little stick, which probably took about an hour, and then we progressed onto a mitt, which saved a lot of time, and then I finally got a spray booth. Yeah. So we just stand in that booth now and have fun spraying me away. We can get the colour comes out perfect. And I'd done it actually on Cam's brother, around Deep Lotte, for his last show, and everyone was just talking about how good his tan was. I mean, his physique was phenomenal, but the tan was like spot on. Yeah. And then I get the Dream Tan. I normally put it on before backstage, actually, like in the hotel room, let it soak into my clothes a bit. Mm-hmm. And then when I get backstage, I just put some oil on to kind of ignite it. Yeah. And then that's it. It just gives a really good look on stage. And so it's worked from like day one, so I just stick with that.
So it's like you're not applying, like you say, the Dream Tan. A lot of people, it's an instant, like a makeup type, and it sits on the skin. But a lot of people I see, when you put that on backstage, it's like they go on real thick, and you're doing the opposite, aren't you?
Because some of them people, they actually come on, they actually go on stage, backstage white, and then they'll put the instant tan on. Yep. They look really good, but then as soon as they start touching, you can see it coming off, and it's like leaving patches. Where my way, it's soaked in. I've got a good base, and then like it doesn't. It's kind of, my clothes kind of soak it in. So that when the oil, which I use a sweet almond oil, normally from Holland and Barrett, that is for me the best oil. It's better than all these expensive oils that are supposed to be dedicated to.
Is it quite? Is it quite thick as well? Or is it quite viscous?
It's not too thick, but what it does, it seems to complement the colour of the tan as well.
Right, okay, yeah.
So it's like I use a roller to roll the oil and the tan on, and like the same roller that I put the Dream Tan on with.
Yeah.
When I'm rolling on, I use the oil to roll. So when I'm rolling, I'm getting a mixture of oil and tan at the same time. So it kind of, the colour always stays and the sheen always stays.
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
I remember I was competing at the New York Pro, and we were staying in the Hilton overlooking Ground Zero, you know, when they were just starting to build and all that. And 2006, they said, and they had Egyptian cotton linen, really expensive, and I didn't know, but they all knew that the athletes were competing, and who were competing were staying there. And I wish the concierge told us, you know. And then as I went to check out after it, because the bed sheets were absolutely ruined, and I got hit with $150 bill. I went, but why did? And after a bit, they let me off, and I'm thinking, well, you could have told me. I said I would have brought my own sheets and that. So I was using, like you say, the Pro Tan.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to bed, it's like the sheets are just totally ruined.
Well, it's happened to me a few times in hotels as well.
Yeah.
I actually recall, I'm sure Simon Fan once paid for us in a hotel somewhere. I don't remember what show it was, but I remember I had tan on, and then I'm sure he got billed for the room afterwards. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, for me getting not tan on the bed.
Where was that?
I don't remember. It was a good few years ago now.
Was it?
I just recall that moment, and it was like I felt really bad, but he didn't ask me for the money. So,
but it is good, lad, Simon. I like Simon a lot. Big props. I mean, talking of which, Simon has his own gym, doesn't he, down in Birmingham? Because that's where you're from, isn't it?
Yeah,
Birmingham.
Yeah. Ultimate Fitness.
Is that where you train, or?
Yeah, that's what I've been training for the last 4.5 years, I think it is, since it's been open.
Right.
But he just recently moved in June last year.
That's right. I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. The post going up saying that he was moving. So was it to a bigger facility?
Yeah,
or?
it was literally just less than 5 minutes walk around the corner from the old gym, and basically we needed more space because it was getting really popular. I mean, the equipment there's all phenomenal. So like a lot of hammer strength and Cybex. I got the new Atlantis machines. That
I know the Atlantis from the States. Yeah.
But I've been to other gyms. I'm not mentioning any names, but they've got a lot of equipment, and the equipment, but it's all like copied or
I know what you mean.
Stuff, and it's like really bad on your joints.
Yeah.
Well, you're just trying to alter. I mean, I won a lot of shows before training there, but when I got to Ultimate Fitness, that's when I won all my biggest titles, like the ones that put me on the map basically. And I put it down to really working the muscle properly with the proper machines and having like-minded people around, like Randy Blote, Dean Lesiak, Simon Fan himself, all like top-rate competitors. Yeah, really.
So I mean, how many lads are actually competing from Simon's places? It must be a fair few.
There's quite a lot because, I mean, forgive me, there's a lot of men's kind of physique people that I don't really know the names of because I don't actually watch those kind of classes, but there's some good physiques in our gym. There's even people that live abroad and they come to whenever they're going to compete, they'll come to our gym and kind of represent the gym as well.
Right, with you.
But the main bodybuilders like myself, Dean, Dean Lesiak, Randy Blote. Can you think of anybody else? Yeah, well, so I don't think Simon competes anymore.
No.
But like, he competed with me in 2015 in the England and the Universe.
Well, I remember when Simon competed the first time, you know.
How long ago was that?
That was 1994, if I remember right. Because I won the British, the EFBB, the UK BFF intermediates.
Yeah.
And the new 7 over on, and it was called the British Twos. And then Simon Fan won the same title. And the overall, I think it was 1994 or it was 1995. I remember it clearly. I know he did. I'm sure he may correct us on that, but I'm positive. I remember when he hit the scene, I thought, wow.
Is that when he had hair?
It's when we both have bloody hair.
Yeah.
That's why I shave it now because the front's going like.
Before he had Ultimate Fitness, he used to like kind of run Temple Gym.
Yeah,
like Darwin Yates Temple Gym. Right. That's where I first learned to train.
Yeah.
Like properly train.
What, Temple?
Temple Gym. It's like.
It's a shame because it's gone now, isn't it? It was gone. Just an iconic place, wasn't it?
Yeah, the atmosphere. I mean, people go in there and think it's just like a bag of shit, but the atmosphere and the drive that you got when you train down there, you just walk down the stairs and you just like you want to train hard.
The equipment and as well, even though some of it was old, it was absolutely brilliant.
Really good stuff. Well, the point of that was there was someone who worked there found an old picture of Simon from must be when he first competed, when he had hair and these really short denim shorts. He went on and they must have like printed it out and put copies everywhere where you seen like round corners on equipment everywhere. This little picture of him everywhere. He looked really good though.
Yeah,
looked a bit like that IFBB 212 guy. What's his name? Yamagishi.
Oh yeah. Because I think he's going back to the open class. Yeah, Hide.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, no, really nice. He looked very similar, that kind of look.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I'd like to see Simon get back on stage actually, because
I don't think he ever fulfilled his true potential for me. I mean, I think he really could have. You know what I mean? But didn't he have a pec tear? Or,
yeah. I think that's the only thing that's been let him down. Because even now, if you see him, he still looks like he's like training for a show. He only has to touch the weights.
Yeah.
He looks at the weights, his legs grow, his calves are phenomenal anyway, and his arms are like twice the size of mine. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, he's. I'd like to see him get back and see if we can fulfil that. But with the pec tear, he's trying to work to see how he can develop around it. But he's doing a good job.
And is Simon someone that obviously, with him being, you know, over the years, you know, involved in the sport, promoting the sport. I mean, because he's done a hell of a lot. Is he someone that you turn to as well? Does he give you any input? Or is it something that you do yourself? I don't know. You know, it's interesting to find out how you are. You know, as a competitive athlete. Yeah. You know, some people do it themselves. Some people have, you know, someone who's there in the corner all the time.
Well, Simon's helped me. Simon did help me out a lot from when I first started competing. Not in prep. The last 8 years of my prep, I've done it all myself. The very first year, I went to a guy called Kane Leatham. I don't know if you know him.
Kane. Yeah, he does his. Does he still do it? The courses.
The GB fitness courses.
The GB fitness course.
So I've done his courses. He said even though I had like the knowledge to kind of do it myself, I went to him for prep because I wasn't confident in doing it. And then he kind of prepped me for the first year. I won my first 5 shows,
right?
In which he prepped me for the first 2 of them, and then after that he said, look, you've got the knowledge, you can do this yourself.
Right.
So I tried it, I've done it.
Which is admirable of someone, isn't it? You know what I mean?
And then I've just been determined to, I wanted to win a big title on my own, and then I thought after that, if I want to go further, I probably need to go to somebody. So I won the overall Britain, and then
that was at 2014?
Yeah, 2014. And then I thought to myself, okay, I might seek to push it further to win the universe. I need somebody else. I just didn't do it. I just tried even harder and pushed myself and won the universe as well. But Simon, my second year of competing, I literally had no money. I was prepping for, my first year, 2008, in November. It's called the NABBA Novice Britain Finals. I'd won the first timers, qualified for that show, and I needed, this is when Kane was still doing my diet and everything for me, put everything I needed. And I literally had no money for it, and then I spoke to Simon, and he kind of helped me out, and he gave me a lot of supplements and stuff that I needed. I said, what do I owe? And he was just like, you know what I mean? No, it's fine. I just want you to win. It's all my proteins, creatine, everything I needed at the time. He just gave me. I won the show, and it's like I never forget that moment. So whenever I win shows, I always go back to them and say, you know, the people like Simon who was there from the beginning to help me out, and then like if I ever do want a second eye or someone to look at me. I will turn to somebody like Simon, even people like, you know, Tony Bailey.
Yeah, Tony.
We're good friends. We sometimes train together. He's a good eye, and he gets me to look at him as well. Yeah. Even though he's been in it for a lot longer than me, but he's got a good respect for me, which I like. Yeah. But yeah.
I remember, Tony's come. He came a number of years back and did a couple of training sessions with us. But yeah, again, another thick, dense physique, isn't it? Very heavily muscled and that.
Yeah, he's somebody, like I said, I've seen him look tremendously amazing, and I know that he can look a hell of a lot better than he does on stage. He could another one that could push himself a lot further than he's been, even though he's been doing quite well, but he could do a lot better.
Take note of that one, Tony. Yeah. Come on. Why is that? We're not going to. But why is that? Is he just sometimes a bit like too laid back, or?
That's exactly hit the nail on the head.
Come on,
he's really like. I think he's really laid back.
I like Tony.
He was coming up to a show the once. I think it was about 4 weeks out, and he wanted me to have a look at him, and I was like, I said, yeah, you look good, but for 4 weeks out, I think you need to be better. And he was just like, no, but I've still got flavour on my food. I'm still taking protein drinks and stuff. Once I've cut them, I'll be fine. And I was like, it shouldn't make any difference if you're not looking ready by now. I mean, I can run them things up. I can run flavour and protein to my show.
I'm just about to say that. I did. And it's like, no, it's that. Are you trying to say no? You're still holding body fat?
Yeah. It's like, everyone's always holding water.
Yeah. I love that quote, don't you? Over the years, I remember when there was me and Kerry back from the 90s and that, when people come in, and people will come in, get looked at. Oh, I'm holding water, and we just look at each other like that. Me and Kerry go, really?
That's some thick water.
Yeah. And we go like that. Yeah. No. No, that's not water. That's fat.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And it's funny, you know. It's like the old adage, isn't it? You look at the back of your, you know, the skin on the back of your hand. And like, if you're not like that everywhere, then you know you're still holding, especially in your back, your glutes, your arms. It's
that's why I know I can still go further, because I've got myself in great condition. Yeah. Even if I do say so myself, but I know things like, so I've had my glutes kind of ready from the side, but not from like the back and my lower back. I've got it fairly Christmas tree, but not proper diced. That's where somebody like, again, Randy Lote, I'm going to keep plugging his name a lot, because he's kind of the epitome of condition in the recent years. He gets in like proper condition.
He did the middleweights, and now he's doing the light heavies, isn't he? And he's the brother of your wife, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's my brother-in-law now. Yeah.
So was there a connection there before? Is that how you met your wife?
Well, he did introduce me to as a personal training client.
Well, but yeah, all starts somewhere, doesn't it? Eh? And from there, it all blossomed. Eh?
Yeah.
He
wasn't happy about it.
What?
Well, I only know because he never spoke to me for 5 years. But no, we're really good now. We're close now.
Yeah. Well, did you actually have a fallout?
Yeah, we didn't speak to me for 5 years.
Wow.
No, I understood. I couldn't really say anything because it's a religious thing. But we've got around that now.
That's good. That's good. Anyway. Yeah. So everything's sweet.
Yeah, cool. Perfect. I mean, his last show, I was there. We'd only just literally made up, and I'm there, stayed with him for about 3-4 hours of the day. Yeah. And we can see there's videos of me on like Instagram and stuff, just constantly tanning him up, and he's there trying to have a conversation with like James Collier, and I'm there like people laughing because I'm just tanning him up, and he's just casually eating whatever he's eating, drinking his drinks, talking away as though I'm not doing nothing, as though he gets pampered like that every day. Yeah, and that's quite good. But yeah, so it's good that we're close because like. I mean, I've done when he won't talk to me, I used to do cardio next to him sometimes. When I'm getting ready for the show, we're both on the Stairmaster, doing it 2 different ways. I'm doing like high intensity, low intensity. He's just doing steady state. We're getting ready for around the same time, but he's doing a different federation at the time. And I'm looking at his arms, and I'm there thinking, look how thin his skin is, man. I'm looking at mine, thinking, oh, I've got loads. You know what I mean? But it's just I'm one of them kind of late bloomers, a little bit like Josh. I kind of say the last 4 weeks I really kind of come to life, and especially the last kind of 6 weeks, because while I was getting ready for the universe, people come and told me afterwards that they saw me like, I think it was 6-7 weeks out, and said like, is he dieting? And when someone told me, I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no, because everybody was already in the gym, was already looking ready because their shows were earlier. Yeah. And I just ignored that. I thought, okay, it doesn't matter that they're ready, I'm gonna be ready. Yeah. So as I'm getting closer to it, towards England, literally within about 3 weeks after that, people said, what the hell just happened to you? Yeah. I was like, no, nothing happened. I'm just continuing the same process, and that little bit more fat came off, and it's just showing more.
How long do you normally give yourself when you're getting ready for a show?
When I first started, it used to be like, I started with 12 weeks because I didn't know how it all worked. I just used to think the longer your diet, say the more if you've got more fat to come off, you diet longer, which can essentially be which can be the case. But when I first started, just 12 weeks, and it got me really lean but too thin, and I thought, why am I getting too thin 12 weeks? So I tried 10 weeks. Same thing, exactly the same condition, same but thin.
You're losing muscle tissue as well.
And I couldn't work out why, because like I said, I do my own prep, so I've had to do a lot more studying. And then I tried the other way. Okay, I'll do it longer but slower. Yep. And then that's when I started seeing the results, and I went to 16 weeks and then 20 weeks. Yep. So I think 20 weeks is a good kind of point.
So how much do you end up losing roughly? What's your off-season weight to when you're competing?
Okay, my off-season weight, the last time my off-season weight was 21 stones. Yeah. And I got down to 18.4 on stage, 18.4. Previously before that, I'd been up to 22, 20, but I kind of worked out that I can still gain muscle without having to go so high.
Exactly.
And gaining so much body fat. So I always try to stay around the 21 stone mark. And once I started creeping higher, I just like reduce my calories or put some cardio in so that I wasn't. So I just wasn't putting on too much fat, and then I'd come on stage and still be heavier than I was the previous year.
It's all about retaining that. Again, a lot of people get to this. I mean, one particular pro that stood out for me was when Kevin English. Now we were doing the 202 at the time, and I was talking to him backstage when I did the Olympia 2009, the 202 showdown class, and he was then the champion. He won it that year, and I was chatting to him backstage. A real nice guy, and he's like, he gets up to £280. Don't forget, we're all short asses. We're like between 5'4" and anything from 5'3" up to 5'6", say something like that. And all he worried about was when the show was over was as long as he's eating enough protein, and he didn't care where the rest of the calories come from. There was donuts, he was everything, and he's like 200. I mean, we're talking 80 pounds above the weight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm like, what? I'm thinking, why? You know what I mean? But that's the way that some people do it. For me, that's just too much.
I mean, for my height, I mean, I'm 6'2", just under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it in there.
Yeah. So we got measured properly last week, but yeah, how tall are you? Yeah,
how short am I? How tall? How short? I'm actually 165 centimetres, so I think that equates to something like
He's constantly telling us he's 5'5".
No, I'm 5'4.5". I put it in the middle. It's about that.
Let's round it down, John.
5'4", 5'5". That's what I kept saying last time. It kept cropping up, so we'll go in the middle, about 5'4.5" then.
Yeah, because the way, obviously, the size of you being shorter than I've been, me being taller, the amount of fat that you can kind of carry would be like relative to your height. So like, I don't know, just say you want to be like a stone and a half over contest weight. That would equate to me being maybe 2.5 stone over my contest weight. So I try and stay.
Is he trying to convince himself or me? You know.
So I always try to stay within, say, 2.5, 3 maximum. But at one point, 2012, I think it was, well, someone had introduced me to a bit insulin, which I don't use, by the way. I tried it that 1 year. I got up to 23 stones, and I thought, I remember speaking to Dorian actually. He actually said to me, "You're going to be 17 stone on stage," and I was like, "No, I'm going to be 19 stones," because I'd been 17 and a half, and he actually swore that to me. I was like, "No chance, when I'm 23 stone, I could kind of see the outline of my top 4 abs." Yeah. So I thought I'm in good shape.
And when was this? What year was this?
2012.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
I dieted down. Guess what weight I got to on stage?
You're about say just over 16, aren't you?
No, 17 stone. He was spot on.
Oh, he was on. Yeah.
So I lost, like, was it? I mean, it was like 6 stones. Was it 6 stones to get ready? It just kind of put me off, and I thought, what am I doing? I've just spent a whole year prepping to be on stage the same weight as it was the year before. So I made that. So I decided I'd never want to get nowhere near that weight again. So
Dorian sort of knew straight away when he was looking at that he was carrying a lot of body fat, and it happened. That, funnily enough, was really. I mean, the same applied with me. I used a little bit of I was starting to use a little bit of insulin, about like 97, stuff like that. And you're thinking, looking back, I'm getting bigger and bigger. But you was getting bigger, but it wasn't the muscle. It was more fat.
The thing is, my strength was going up and everything, like crazy poundages on my legs and stuff. So I just assumed that I'd be getting a lot thicker muscle. But maybe because I reckon because I put on so much weight, I'll probably be going to give myself a 12-week diet, to be honest. So I would have had to drop my calories that quick that I would have lost muscle anyway. Now, if I'd have probably done that and give myself like a 26-week diet or something, then I would have been on stage at 19 stone, wouldn't I?
So when you got to but when you got to 17, did Dorian go? Did he have a little blow?
He said, "I told you," and I kind of felt embarrassed because.
What was he actually saying to you though at the time? You know, because that would have been an interesting conversation. You're there and you're thinking, "No, I'm this," and you've got. Considered for me the greatest Mr. Olympia that's ever been, and you look at the way he nailed his condition. That was his main priority, wasn't it? Always to get condition, which I think should be our main aim, shouldn't it, as a competitor? So, I mean, how did that unfold? I mean, what was it? Was it a little bit of a...
Well, what it is, 2011, I recall that as a time when I used to get into really, really good condition. That was kind of my condition years, but the size was kind of lacking. I used to kind of like almost not, I'd say over diet, like coming a bit flat but really lean. I kind of like that look. And I remember coming back to Temple and then Dorian saying you need to put on a lot more size in off season. That's all he kept saying, you need to put on a lot more weight on. So I was just obsessed with the weight. So I was standing on the scales every week. 18, 20 stone, 21, 22 and a half, posting it on Facebook, and then get to 23. I hit 23 stones for I think it was like 4 days. I was well chuffed. I thought yes, and that's when I went back to him. I said 23 stones. And I mean, I can get on stage at 19. He goes, no, you're going to get on stage at 17 stone. And then,
did you felt wounded?
Yeah, because I really thought that I'd gained so much, and it was just like, it just made that whole year seem like it was a waste of time.
So what did he actually say that, obviously you're thinking, I've gained the size. I've done what you've been saying, I've got to get bigger. What did he actually, I mean, did he actually say at the time? He just fat?
No, he just knew that I'd put a lot of fat on.
Is that what he said?
See, it's hard for yourself to tell because you build it so gradual, but when you look, It's a shame we haven't got any of them before and after pictures from when I was, because it's deep into my Facebook. You'd have to go back so far.
I'd look to Chris, our technical director, find them.
I've got them on my phone, but I've got them when I was 22.5 stone, just as I was about to start my diet.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wouldn't have realised that I was that big, but when I compared them to them after, my face, my head, it was like, how I could explain it, like an egg, as in fat at the bottom and thin at the top, because your head, the top of your head doesn't change, does it? Just the bottom of your head.
Cold head.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous. It's like
I'm laughing because I've been I think I mentioned it when I think it was with Josh, when I was with the podcast with Josh, and I had a picture with Dorian. It was like the second time he did a seminar, because I saw the first time I ever saw a competitive bodybuilder was Dorian a week before he won the Helsinki's first Olympia in '92, and then he came back the following year, and there's a picture of us, and I've got this head like a melon. And I'm thinking, the only thing that's like bigger than Dorian was my big fat face. And I suppose you have to go through that process sometimes where you think I'm piling on, and you live and learn, don't you?
Okay, no, they're not the one. I wasn't actually competing. Okay, you can keep them there, because I wasn't actually competing then. Right, that was before, because my wife has been with me since I started competing. This was my first ever diet. That I'd done the first 8 weeks diet, and Kane Leatham helped me with the second 8. But I just dieted just to get in shape.
But you look at the difference.
Right. But that was me doing a 16-week diet just to get in shape for Christmas. Yeah. Right.
Get in shape for Christmas, not holiday, not like a summer holiday.
Just so that I could eat what I wanted at Christmas. And I got into that shape there. And I remember Babu passed away. Ironworks, even though Bob Young, really good man, used to help me out a lot.
Went there,
it was like him and a lot of other people. It was like, you need to compete. You look fantastic. And I was like, no chance. I can't get on stage like that. Because that's how it started actually.
Because you're your own worst critic, aren't you?
Yeah. So that was Christmas in 2007, and somehow by May 2008, I'm on stage in a pair of trunks. Oh, and another story as well. I'd never even seen a bodybuilding show. I'd never seen a routine. I knew nothing about bodybuilding shows before I stepped on stage.
You just went in blind?
I just went in totally blind. I didn't even Google what a routine was like.
So what about your compulsories and all that?
Kane was showing me.
Right, okay.
He didn't show them very well. I mean, he needs to brush up himself, because when I look back at the first one, my posing was awful then. Since then, it's like I actually do posing classes myself now, because I know that I'm known as a good poser. I'm known for my posing routines as well.
Yep.
2008. Yeah, 2000. That was my first ever show. That was. That was my first.
It looks like a very good pose. That he was holding there.
Yeah, I'm standing next to Ricardo. Look, that's Ricardo next to me. Look at the size of him. He got fourth in that show. And Ricardo now, I mean, I monster him there. Now he'd make me look like a baby now.
He had a great year last year. He looked fantastic at the 202 Olympia. And
he's off season shape. Yeah. He's like better than most people's stage condition these days.
Do you not think that there's a lot of? I mean, that would be half the battle. Holding sort of like a certain look. Would you say? Would you? You get to a certain point, but you can be not too far out, if you get what I mean, when you're doubting for a contest.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've seen a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
There's people like Dean. Then again, I suppose Dean Lesiak he's always had to make the same weight, but he always holds a really good shape. But then gets on on stage looking the same. I mean, he looks good anyway.
Oh, he looks fantastic. I think he's got a great physique.
I think he was held back by wanting to stick in the under 90s.
Yeah.
I think he should have done like under 100s like a long time ago, because he could have broken himself out.
Yeah.
And really put some like size on, because he just held. He looked like he was always like 6 weeks out all the time, even now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's he weighing at roughly, Dean, at the moment?
Well, he's only like 4'2", isn't he? So he weighs about 12 pounds.
No, he's taller. He's taller than me. It's even worse digging me. He's miles taller than me. Yeah. That's like, what you trying to say? You've got to paint me orange and put a ginger wig on me and dress me as an Oompa Loompa.
I couldn't even guess his weight, but the best I ever seen him, and he probably won't agree, he guest posed once. I think it was a couple of weeks out from the Britain, or 4 weeks out from the British it was, and he was just over 100 kilos. Just over 100, and he looked fantastic. He was full as anything, full of the house. He's conditioned like he looked like he only needs to lose a few pounds, but he looked like he could have won any show.
Yeah.
I think Simon Fan even agreed with me. He was like, wow, look at Dean. And then he gets on, he does his own show, has to drop like 10 kilos or something, and he's like faded away to nothing. He probably still won, because he's just got that genetic really good shape.
What I mean, again, it's interesting that though, you got people like yourself and Simon, and you're trying to sort of guide him and say no, because it's like you get sort of like trapped in your own little world, don't you? Did he not take? Obviously, he didn't take that on board, did he?
No, because he kept saying, "Oh, I'll probably do that over hundreds. Is it not under hundreds? Is it? Yeah." And then he'd end up getting underneath it, and then just tightening up more, because we're all obsessed with that condition. It's the condition we go for. Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky because I've never had a weight to make, even when. I mean, I have done 2 UK BFF shows. My shows have always been on height, competing for NABBA. Yeah. I've done a couple of I've actually won the 2010 UK BFF Birmingham show. I won the Mr. Birmingham, and I won,
that's right. Yeah.
And I won the overall. I got my sword. I should have brought that with me as well. Won the sword there. But
and did you go on to do that? And what class was you doing then? What class was that?
That was the super heavies.
Super heavyweights. Did you go on to do the Britain?
No, because it was literally, I think it was like 5 weeks before the NABBA England, and then the Universe was like a week later or something like that. Right. And I was prepping for the Universe, and I literally just did that as a warm-up show.
Right, okay, yeah, just
because I was in shape.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks before my show, and then 5 weeks for the Universe. I remember that show there, 2010. I was buzzing off that because I just obviously won that like show in my like second year. And then I'd done the NABBA England. I remember competing against a guy called Lucas Cabrice.
Yeah, I know Lucas.
He'd won it the previous 2 years. He was, you've helped him out a couple of times, haven't you?
Once.
He was like a monster.
He's a lovely guy, but it was not an easy trip. Sorry, Lucas. He's a top guy, but it just, it was.
He walked out like I just remember seeing him, he was like a monster when I seen him backstage, and I thought, okay, I can fight for second here. And when we've walked out, and I'd really hit the condition this time with that. I got on stage, and a guy called Vince, who was one of the judges, he already kind of put Lucas as first place without even seeing us pose, because it's one of them, you walk out and it's kind of obvious. Then once this freak walks out with lats just hanging off him. Anyway, the second we hit poses, it's like I come alive, and he was like really, really like too soft. Yeah. Anyway, I've gone and won the show over the moon. Lucas is like looking down, he's like really kind of depressed about it, because he's seen this smaller guy who's just beat me. But then he come up to me, and then 5 weeks later we had the Universe. He's made the top 5, I didn't place. And then he thanked me, he says, because of you getting that condition, it made me work harder.
That's the only thing that's really constantly let Lucas down, because we've all said what great potential, what a fantastic physique, but just nailing down that condition.
Oh no, he's always had a fantastic. I kind of looked up to him because the amount of muscle he had. And like around that time, the 2010, 2011 era, he got that condition down. I would have seen him winning, not the overall at the UK BFF.
Potential's there. He's just got to nail that conditioning. That's what it's always been with Lucas, But that's the thing, isn't it? The unbeknownst, like you say, it's testament to the conditioning that you've attained, and then you've gone and spurned the opponent on to. And that actually, funnily enough, is quite interesting, because that happened. Do you remember Gustavo Bedell? Yeah. Because he used to come third. He was quite, he beat Ronnie Coleman in the challenge round, and it was 2001, the British Grand Prix, and it was really funny because it was being held in Manchester, because it used to be held every year, like from 1999 up to 2001 when Kerry was owner of CMP, and it used to be like the pro show a week after the Mr. Olympia. So they'd all come and arrive, and they'd be sitting in Better Bodies when Kerry had it. And I always remember Gustavo coming in, and it was one of the best looks I'd ever retained. I mean, it was I won the middleweights and turned pro in 1999 as 80 kilo, and then I did that year in 2001. I did the Canada show and the Night of the Champions it was. And then I did in the October, the British Grand Prix, and I was weighing about 88.5 kilo. And I was bang on the button. And I remember Gustavo coming over, and he was like chubby and a bit out of shape. And I said, how are you doing? Great to see you. Because we did it in 1999, because I competed 2 weeks after I won my pro card, because it was in my hometown, Manchester. So I thought, well, I've got to do it, you know what I mean? And I remember meeting him there, and then again in 2001. And he still hadn't nailed his condition, and he said to me, he went, everything's good. He said, it's been a tough year. My wife's, she's like pregnant, she's, due a baby. I said, same with me. My wife's due to have a baby in 3 weeks' time. And he just looked and went, how'd you get like that? I went, why should it be any different? What's the excuse? You know what I mean? I said, and he just sort of went, and the penny must have dropped with him, because I said, well, there's no excuse. I said, if I'm doing a show, I'm going to make sure I get my condition right, irrespective. And then from that point, the next thing you see him, the following year, the year two, and he absolutely, I think he was working with Milos at the time, and he came in, his condition was absolutely on the, and I still think to this day that he just sort of like the penny, like you say, drops to say, right, there isn't an excuse. And and then he shone. He came third in the Mr. Olympia, you know what I mean? So I like to think that somewhere, I might have triggered something in his mentality to say, well, there are no excuses.
No, there isn't.
No,
that year as well, when like I said, hopefully I helped Lucas win the universe there, so he did thank me for it anyway. But I met Jason Corrick backstage after the England as well, and he another really good bodybuilder as well.
Very thick back.
He gave me some of the, I remember he told me just to eat up a bit now and cruise, because I was actually really conditioned to kind of like cruise in. Don't diet anymore. You've hit it, go into the universe like this. And I was like, I was agreeing, but as soon as I got back, jumped on my bike, lowered my calories even more. I wanted to get even more shredded. Yeah. And then that was the I just got into the universe looking. It was 2011 actually. I went into the universe looking like really, really thin. I think I missed out on the top 6, and it was just like I was proper like conditioned, but it was just so skinny. And it's like people trying to give me good advice, and I'm thinking, I know better. I can get kind of like lean and conditioned.
So what do you take from that? So what again, it was a bit of a hard lesson learned, wasn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, because obviously there's people that have been around and done it and been there, even like yourself. I mean, imagine you give me, it's like you give people advice, like say Lucas or anybody, and then they go and do their own thing and wonder why they're not getting the places they need to be getting because they're not following that advice. And I'm doing the same thing with other people now, because I've been doing it now for 9 years I've been competing for now. I kind of, because I've done it on myself and kind of all trial and error and stuff, so I kind of know what works. I know it's for myself and for other people, so you kind of know what most people should stay away from and what's bound to work for most people. Not going to work for every people, but every person.
Do you really I don't know. I mean, it's really funny, everyone says we're all different, but if someone's actually eating the basic bodybuilding foods, do you seriously think that people can't get in condition? If you've got cardio to do, you're training hard in the gym, let's look at the basic foods of, like what bodybuilders eat. Oats. I don't know. In fact, rather than me say too much, tell us what your diet would consist of then when you're dieting for the show.
Well, oats, even like whether it's off season or dieting, my food stays the same all year round.
Yeah,
it stays the same all year round, whether I'm off season or diet. The only obviously thing that changes is the amount. Sometimes I'll eat a bit more frequency while I'm actually dieting, because I find obviously
I'm smiling here because I love that. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that bit.
Just because I find I get a bit hungrier more, so I just think I find a bit eating more often, but I don't actually eat more food. The first thing I'd do is probably split. Say I was eating 4 meals in the off season, I'd split the meal small and probably turn it into 6.
So you only have 4 meals in the off season?
No, just using an example.
Say then, right?
No, that was an example. But I'd probably split it up into an extra meal. But I'd have oats. I don't actually eat eggs.
Do you weigh out your food as well?
Yeah, I weigh everything.
So how much? Go on, let's be specific here, Bob, as you say.
If we talk about now, because I'm actually...
well, no, when you was dieting, what would be interesting?
It depends on what before I'm getting into a show, I try and build my way up so my carbs are as high as
I can get. Let's go back. Go with what you're doing now then. Because you're weighing what, about... What you 21, 22?
No, 21.9, so 303 pound. Yeah, give or take a pound or two, but
another over the 300 pound mark, eh?
Yeah, but you'd be surprised that my carbs are really, really low at the moment, like very low. I'm actually,
Go on.
I know my body. I'm eating a lot of protein, but I can get away with lower carbs.
So go on. What are your ratios?
Okay. Well, I'm having at the moment. I'm only on 70 grams of oat. Jonah says after I got married and kind of started getting myself back on prep again, I decided to wanted to go to a bit of a mini diet, so I lowered my carbs a little bit. And because I've got back on full prep mode, it's like my weight's still going up. So I was thinking, why do I need to increase my carbs? My weight's gone up anyway, and my strength is flying up. All my lifts are going up. But so I'm only on like 70 grams of oats, but I'll put a chop of banana in there as well. So that's what I bought, another like 25, 30 grams of carbs.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm quite surprised because I'm talking to a 300-pound guy. I'm like, I'm weighing about 190 now, and I'm having 100 grams of oats. I have a banana in that. I have blueberries in that.
Well, a normal off-season carb would be 120 grams for me normally.
Right, yeah.
Like when I'm at the peak of my off-season. But it's just, I'm trying, the aim was to try and stay a little bit leaner while I'm doing it. And as long as my lifts and performance is going up, then I didn't need to change anything, and that's what's happening. But so there, and then I'm only on, is it 50 grams of uncooked white rice per meal? No, about 55 grams, which is nothing, again.
I'm on double that.
Yeah. Whereas I normally be on about, say, 80 to 100.
Wow.
But yeah, so my carbs are quite low. So I have that like 4 times a day. And then I'll have like a 5th meal in the evening of whatever my wife will make. Yeah. It'd normally be something different, like we'll have some kind of potatoes or something in there, because I don't normally eat. I used to split between rice and sweet potatoes, but I do like sweet potatoes and stuff. But I found when I was on prep, they kind of made me a bit bloated, so I literally just live on rice.
Do you have brown rice or white rice, or does it matter?
No, I just have white rice, white basmati rice. Yeah. I mean, I did do research on there, and it's like I actually think normal white rice is better than brown rice, in the sense of you might have more vitamins in the brown rice,
and the fibre,
and the fibre and vitamins, but for the amount that they're having, I don't think. I mean, I'm getting that out of my oats and whatever vitamins I take anyway. That I'd rather get the carbs quicker. It takes you longer to get the carbs out of the brown rice because it has to like break it down more. So I'd rather get it, just have clean just the rice just for the carbs, and I'll have my oats and my vitamins and stuff for whatever vitamins and fibre I need.
Well, I've done it both ways, mate, and I've always stuck. In the end, I always stuck to the brown rice, the Uncle Ben's whole grain rice. You know what I mean? But it goes to show you different. You know, the way you can be different. But I think. Do you think though? Deep down, if you're looking when you're having your rice, you're having it with like vegetables and protein anyway. So it's going to, like slow down the transit of how the carbs are actually broken down and got into the bloodstream anyway, probably.
Yeah, of course.
Because your glycemic index is governed as to basically consuming a carbohydrate on its own, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then,
that's right.
So that goes out the window because the glycemic index is basically how fast something will be at as a carb and how quickly it then converts to glucose. But that's based on purely consuming it on its own.
Yeah, you mix that with fats, and it just goes a lot longer, because I use Udo's oil.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Udo's choice oil. I used to put it in all my meals, but now what I do for me and my wife, I make it into all my greens. I don't actually, when I'm pre-contest, I kind of eat them, but off-season I don't actually like eating vegetables so much. So what I do is I get the broccoli and spinach, and we'll put it into like a greens drink. Might put like half a banana or something in there, and half a scoop of protein for a bit of flavour, and then put Udos oil in for the day. Wow. And then keep that in the fridge, and then whenever I have a meal, we'll have some of that. So that's where I get my I just find it because it goes down nice as well. It just makes it more enjoyable, and I'm getting all my greens in and healthy fats and stuff.
That's quite an interesting concept. That I've never heard of that.
I've just started. We started doing that last year.
So you're not a lover of eating greens, really?
Yeah. Apart from when I'm pre-cut, I'm starving. Yeah. And I'm fine. I can eat. I'm fine with like broccoli, spinach. Yeah. But I'm not really a vegetable person. Yeah. So if I go out and somebody gives me, or if I go to the house and somebody gives me vegetables, the vegetables will probably be left on the plate.
You like that being polite?
Because it just reminds me of prep.
Right.
I kind of want to stay away from prep until I'm on prep.
Right. So I mean, in the off season, you're not like sort of consuming much of the vegetables as well, like, really, is it? I still have them same drinks, but not as often. Right. So it might be like I might have it like a couple of times a week. I don't really eat much veg. So so you're saying like obviously what is your ratio then at the, protein, carbs, roughly fats? Then I mean we're talking 300 pound here. I'm like, wow.
Well, I have. I'm having roughly about 250 grams of meat, whether it be steak, mince, or chicken. So it would weigh to be 250 grams.
Is that cooked or uncooked weight?
That's the uncooked weight. It's cooked weight.
Cooked weight.
It's cooked. Yeah.
So you're talking about 300 grams or so.
Yeah, maybe about 300
in a bit.
Uncooked. Yeah.
That's a lot of protein.
I know. Yeah. That's where I know, but I like it.
I like it. So it's about you're looking about what 65 grams of protein, aren't you? Then 60, in the meal.
Yeah, I know it's quite. Yeah. I've seen to be able to get away with it. I kind of sneak it up. Yeah. I mean, as I know my muscle developing, I'll just start adding a bit more in. Right. I'd rather, if I'm feeling hungry, I'd just rather have a bit more meat than. The only time I'd add more because I know my protein's high, so I wouldn't really need to increase that so much. So if my performance was lacking, I know that would be down to carbs, so then I would probably push the carbs up and stuff like that. And maybe a bit more fats.
So how many meals are you actually having then? I mean, whether including like, do you have a protein? Do you have a drink with sugars after a workout?
Do you know what? I've actually, funny enough, I've stopped all of that. I don't actually have anything after a workout. I used to look forward to my post-workout protein drink. That was like the highlight of my day. I'll probably put that back in on prep because.
That's sad, isn't it? That when highlight of the day, a protein drink after the workout.
No, it was. Now the highlight's probably my breakfast, because I don't eat eggs. I have to have like a couple of scoops of protein with make that into a paste, make my oats, tip that in, mix it, slice some banana on top, and that's like a treat for me.
So you actually make your protein powder into a paste and then pour the oats into it.
Yeah,
oh, man,
that's the one, isn't it?
That's the one. It's absolutely stunning.
And then on my prep, I love that as my last meal as well.
Yep.
So my first and last meal will be that, and then in between those, I'd have. So I'm having 6. It'd be 6 meals, and I'd have 4 normal solid meals in between that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like 4. Yeah. So it'd be like 6 in total.
Yeah.
6 total.
But it's really funny that the way your actual breakfast and that last meal is identical to the way, and I absolutely used to love, especially when I was dieting, having that bowl of oats, and it would be in a big Pyrex dish.
Yeah, that's what mine is. A massive I've got 2 Pyrex dishes, right? One's got the oats, it goes in the microwave, and the other one's got the paste in. Yeah.
I don't do the microwave because I've got rid of my microwave now. And I used to use the microwave all the time throughout prep, but I'll cook it on the pan, and then I'll chop it all up, the bits of paste, chop the banana up and the blueberries, and then I'll pour it into it and then just mix it and leave it to settle for about 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah. Sometimes it could be half an hour because I might cook it before I do my morning cardio.
Oh, okay.
Because I tend to do cardio most mornings because I have a treadmill in my bedroom.
You still do that?
Still not doing that.
You're in shape.
No, but I mean, obviously I retired 2011. We're coming up 7 years now. But for me, it's, as I say, I still enjoy training, and I still enjoy eating very much the way I did. You know what I mean? I will have my treats and stuff like that, and live a little. You know, I mean, crisps now and again if I fancy. You know, I'm one of them. But overall, I still like to. I believe in, like, you know, to feel good and look good. You've got to eat good. You know, if I'd strayed, I just start to get sluggish, and I think a bit of cardio in the mornings for me. Again, overall fitness is important. As I say, you know, I'm fit and coming up 50 this year, but I want to just maintain a healthy look. Still look as though, you know, I carry a written muscle, and so the parameters have changed a little bit. But I like doing cardio. I mean, I don't know about yourself. That takes on to cardio.
Well, I did recently do. I think I've done about a 6-week kind of bout for a little while. But I told you, I've said it before we got on air, but I kind of started a bit of a mini kind of, not a prep. I just wanted to reduce my calories, add some cardio in to trim up a bit. Yeah. And I ended up putting weight on. But while my performance was going up in the gym, I'm 100% fine with that. But I was just going back to yourself, because obviously you've been used to that lifestyle for so long. It's like, even with myself, I think I've hit that point now where even if I wasn't competing, like I said, I haven't even thought about competing for the last year. Yeah. And my wife would even confirm that I'm always sticking to the same. I've got my set meal times. Like, no one can get in the way of them meal times. Every 2.5 hours.
On the dot.
Yeah, on the dot. So it's like, and all my clients, everyone has to be based around that time. Someone calling, can you train me half an hour earlier? Well, no, because I'm eating at that time. It just can't be done. So I still stick with that, competing or not. And every now and with one or two, I do a bit of cardio. I kind of stick with them kind of same regime. Training's still the same. It's kind of like sticks with you, and you kind of feel a bit lost if you're not sticking to that kind of. It's like we go on holiday for a couple of weeks, have a lovely time. Yeah. But it's like you're just eating whatever. Well, I am anyway. Just eating whatever. Yeah. And then I'm just looking forward to getting back and eating my regime, sticking to my regime and eating that schedule of food, because that's what I'm used to, and that'll probably stick with me for a while.
Can I just throw in a question there, just from my own interest? Does that give you more of what's the word I'm looking for?
Focus. More of
a focus on when changes start to happen.
It just keeps my, because I know that. I suppose at the moment I know that I'm still not out of competing. Like, I've had a bit of time off, but I know it's still there. So maybe for myself, I've got to keep myself at a certain point level so that I'm not straying off. But it just, with me, it's kind of a focus, because if I was eating 2 meals a day, I know I'd just get like sluggish, and I feel like it affects other aspects of my life, and just get really lazy. Where I feel like when I've got something like that to focus on, it's like from morning, I get up in the morning, breakfast at the same time, I do my wife's breakfast, make all the meals for the day, and that's all like kind of set. So I know that the whole day, there's like food wise, prep wise, I know it's all like set, and it's not gonna. I've kind of lost my kind of train of thought now, but I know
you basically the way I used to view it was, I was so honed in on what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
And so it was just a format that became habit.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was literally like Groundhog Day where food was concerned. And so for me, it was having that routine to follow. But I can understand what you're saying when you were abroad. And then you have something, you let off the shackles and you enjoy yourself. But then you get to that point and it's a bit like, you might be a little bit free, but then you realise, but this isn't who I am. I actually enjoy this routine and this clean eating.
I go abroad and I'm literally eating 2 meals a day, and I'm not even feeling hungry. It's like it's almost like you can get used to it so quick.
Yeah.
You can literally get away with eating 2 meals a day and not feel like you want to eat. And I'm there thinking, when I get back to the UK, is that how it's going to be? And then the day that I'm back, come back, 6 meals done, I eat them all, and then I think, okay, I'm back on track. Yes,
it's mental release, though, isn't it? Sometimes you just got to switch off a little bit. And even though it was murder for me, I was still the same though when I went abroad. It was just a case of I was still eating my meals, but if I wanted something, then we'd go out and have a meal, or if I wanted an ice cream or whatever. I could never imagine eating 2 meals a day. Not even now. I'd just be like, I'm going to bite my arm off or something like that.
Well, actually, when I'm on holiday, it's not, because a lot of my friends go on holiday, they're still, like they compete or whatever, they'll still stick to all their training, all their eating their normal things, go for morning walks, cardio.
Yeah.
I like my holiday is a break from me as well.
Yeah.
So it's like anything I would normally do, I kind of stray away from. So I rarely would drink alcohol, until I got married into this family. But before that, I wasn't really drinking that much alcohol. Sikhs drink a lot, so I have to go to a lot of functions. But before that, I'd probably drink like once a year.
Yeah.
But I don't. What was I saying again? Yeah.
Where you're saying with a lot of people when they go away and that they're in that
so they stick on, they kind of stick to their regime.
Yeah.
Now me, I'll go on holiday, I'll drink a lot, I won't do any weights at all or any kind of cardio, stay away from gym.
Basically living like a normal everyday guy.
I won't eat a chicken breast, I'll just eat stuff that I won't normally eat.
Yeah.
And then when I come back, okay, that's it, I've had a break from me, now I can get back onto me.
Do you feel you have to force that, or does it you just switch off and get on with it?
I just switch off because it's like I'm going with my wife.
Yeah.
I like to just have a good time, because while I'm on prep mode, most of the time it's not enjoyable for her, because we're stuck around my schedule, my kind of food. So when I make food in the morning, for us both, it's kind of what I would normally have. I'm kind of prep, so she's kind of stuck with eating that same thing, which she doesn't mind half the time. I try and make it a bit tastier for her.
Yeah.
But on holiday, we both just want to enjoy it and kind of take a break from that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, literally as soon as I step on that plane, it's like that mode's gone. I'm like a different person.
Yeah.
I can I could just enjoy myself and we enjoy each other, have a nice time.
Cam, is he really different when he goes on holiday? Which version do you prefer?
A bit of both.
Yeah, like a bit of both. That was a very diplomatic answer. That I like that. Yeah.
No, well, she was worried. One of the last holidays we went on, I drank that much Baileys and Jack Daniels, like a pint of Baileys, which you probably never heard of, and a Jack Daniels, because it was just, that was our all inclusive. It was the proper stuff.
Yeah, the real deals.
And she was worried that I was going to be an alcoholic when I came back, because I literally come back, not a drop of drink.
Just
just
switch
nothing,
off.
just off, gone, because that was just a holiday thing. It was only a week.
So you basically, what that tells me is that you've got the ability to switch off, but you've got the real strength mindset to just, right, it's time.
That's it.
Time to get back to...
Same as like with diet. I mean, I don't know how you eat off season, but I have my treats and stuff. Again, more treats since I've been married, because my wife's got a couple of drawers which are full of junk, which I never used to have in my house.
Blaming you again, Cam.
There's a drawer full of crisps.
Come on, so tell us what's in this junk drawer.
There's two drawers.
The Narnia drawer. And you enter another world.
Unlimited amount of crisps that you can have in one drawer, like this deep drawer. Then the other one is just full of chocolates and biscuits. I don't actually have that much. I might have a few crisps. I convince myself I can have a few crisps, because there's not many calories, because crisps, I mean, if you crush a bag and open it up, there's nothing there left. So it's like, okay, I can eat a bag of crisps. Yeah. There's nothing there.
Well, look at this, a £300 guy, and he's worried about a bag of crisps, in the off season, really.
Yeah, but then, okay, that's one part of it. So there's chocolate drawer. So I'm there eating my meals always. My wife was always, do you want something to eat? Do you want a snack? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then we've got like 2 kind of living rooms, 2 TVs.
Yeah.
When Housewife of Cheshire or something is on, she'll get me into the other room and then bring me a big bowl of snacks just to keep me in there.
What, while you're watching Housewives of Cheshire?
No, she's watching Housewives of Cheshire. And then she'll come in with, and then as it's about to finish, she'll kind of come in with a snack bowl for me so that I'll stay in that room, just sitting there eating the snacks, not even realising she's trying to fatten me up here. But then, and then a few months later, she's like, so when are you going to get back in shape then?
She's a bit of feeder.
Yeah.
Come on, let me get some weight on you.
I never had any snack drawers or nothing in my house before off season. I would eat some junk, but I'd never have drawers with it because.
So what happens to this drawer when it comes to contest prep? This is going to be.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, this is it.
What we're worried about.
We're going to enter the twilight zone, aren't we? The unknown area.
Yeah, I'm actually. Yeah, that's one of my.
Probably going to be like that, testing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so what? So So I get the impression that you've got 2 types of sort of like TV, sort of like, shall we say, viewing, if you like. What is it? Because obviously you said the Housewives of Cheshire.
Well, she literally only watches that type of stuff. Housewives.
That type of stuff.
There's Housewife of whatever. Housewife of
Corrie and all that. Yeah, are you into no? Just the reality stuff.
So if it's got Kardashians or Housewives in the title, then
so you don't like all that.
I don't watch any of that. No.
So come on, let's see what. So what does
I just kill the movies, just movies after movies.
Yeah,
I just love films, action films, comedies, whatever. I just constantly watch movies.
Just watch that.
And then my wife has said she's never watched so many movies since ever since she's been with me,
right?
Live with me, which she's never watched so many movies in her life because I just like watch films after film. I mean, it's just my thing.
So how have you adjusted? I mean, how long have you lived together now?
Well, it's been since May, since we got back from our honeymoon.
So and how have you found that? I mean, it's always an intrigue. I'm being a bit nosy, but how have you found that? I mean, all of a sudden, you're and then you're living together, you're married.
Well, I was on my own. I lived on my own for about 11 years, and she come from a big family,
right?
For 30-something years, however. I'm not going to say her age because she.
Well, how old are you now, Lee?
I'm 41 next Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think that. Looks really well, doesn't he? Wow, I thought he was in his early 30s.
Yeah. No, I know everyone does think that. Yeah. But what did you?
So I was just going to say, so you've now 11 years as this, a guy living on his own. I mean, that's
and then also we're both together. Yeah. She's come from a big family to just the 2 of us, and I've come from nobody to. So we don't know who's got it the worst because she's come down from big family to almost nothing, and I've come down from nothing to doubling my people I'm living with.
So tell me who's got it worse. I don't know. This is brilliantly. You got me.
We both adjusted well though.
Cam, would you like to comment on this at all?
Yeah, come on, Cam.
Feel free to come in.
Comes with a kiss. Come on.
Well. This is hilarious. No, I've come from a really, really big family. So when we got married and I moved in with Lee, or we moved in together in our house, I found it really difficult.
Yeah.
Because I missed my family, my mum, my dad, my brothers and sisters. I missed everybody because we've got a very big family, and it's just a lot of food, a lot of gathering, social gathering, a lot of drinking. It's always about food and drinking and socialising. And then I went to live with just Lee. So it was really difficult. But
I've got adjustment.
A massive adjustment. And I really struggled for the first month or so. But I absolutely love living with Lee.
Oh.
He's amazing to live with. He's such a good husband. He really is. He really is.
No, but
he makes the food. Admittedly, I'm not a cook. I hate cooking.
But then, I mean, that seems to be, that's
so
quite
we make a good couple, really.
Lovely.
So he likes the cooking. I like the cleaning. So it's a good match.
What a balance.
I have to do half the cleaning as well. Half the cleaning and the cooking.
And we don't want to start any.
We're like that. And
conflict.
12 months later, well, Lee.
Thanks for that, Cam.
No, it works well. No, but I adjusted straight away. So because she's always supported me in that lifestyle, that my bodybuilding lifestyle, because she's been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
and it kind of works well for both of us because she's into the fitness a lot as well. She likes to really train and stay in shape. So it's like that lifestyle kind of. It goes all towards and for that. So
it's that got anything to do with obviously your brother as well being a bodybuilder? So do you have a sort of like sense you're aware and accustomed to what goes in?
I always liked structure.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, please come forward. Keep the mic there, because I can see a 3-way interaction here coming on. So
I've always liked.
no, let's not do there.
I've always liked training. I've trained from a long time, but meeting Lee and his kind of lifestyle, it's made me want to train even more. So he trains me as well. So he's also my trainer as well as my husband. Double benefits.
So do we have any crosswords? Stop pushing me. No. You like
when he trains me, I don't treat him like he's my husband. I just say, right, that's it, just train me the hardest you can train me. And that's
fair enough, isn't it?
And he's great at that as well. Yeah.
So how I mean,
I'm training. She's like, you're not being very loving, are you? And I'm like, you're my client.
Not being very loving. I love it. Oh, come on. Yeah, come here. I'll give you a quick snog while we're in front of everyone. Like,
So I'm training you like I'm training like I train everybody else. This is work. I could be loving later.
Well, I suppose that's how it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like train, bump, and then whatever after. It's focus, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what you got to try and do in that. So are you busy with your PT and that?
It's just coming up to Christmas. It went a bit quiet, but I've been up and I was like too busy. Like I didn't have time for like to spend time with my wife and stuff. I was working morning till night.
And is that do you do PT? Is that at Simon? Within Simon's gym? Yeah.
It's a great place to do PT because it's like people. There's a lot of people there because everybody knows the kind of standard of the equipment and the vibe. Again, it's like the similar vibe that we took from Temple Gym. We kind of brought it with us. So even though it's like a really nice, clean looking place, you've still got that atmosphere that because you've got so many like-minded people. Everyone that steps in its foot in that place just all want to get in shape and train hard. There's nobody just because they're just to socialise. Everybody wants to train. And really
so how is your client base? Is it sort of like the demographic of the type of trainer? Would you say it was quite interesting with Josh, because he was training a lot of people who weren't actually into bodybuilding.
I don't think I'm training I'm not training anybody that competes at the moment. It's generally people that want to look good. Some people just want to lose fat and shape up. Other people just want to gain muscle. Or I've got just certain people that just want to. They kind of want to keep the way that they look, and they just want to do something. They wouldn't train on their own. I train a radio presenter. Right. Okay. And Steve Denyer, a Heart FM, and he just likes to stay in.
I listen to her. It's quite good, actually.
And he likes to stay in like a really good, like a decent shape. Yeah. And he says, obviously, since he trained with me, he says he's been happy with the way that he looks, but he don't want to get any lean. He doesn't want to get any bigger. He doesn't. He's happy with his fat loss, and he kind of stays there. So he comes to me to kind of like maintain himself in a sense. Yeah. Or to kind of like. He'll train hard with me a couple of times a week and then have a bit of a binge where he can eat what he wants because he knows I can help him get it back off.
Right,
but he's the sort of person I can't restrict with, but other people just want to really like train. A lot of them want to train as hard as I do, like what I do, but not kind of think about competing, but they want to kind of get closer to that.
I know what you're saying. It's all about getting a look they feel when they look in the mirror, they go, I'm happy. It's feeling good in yourself, isn't it, I suppose? And,
I did have one guy recently, I'm not training him anymore, he was like he wasn't genetically good physique guy. He would never be able to get on stage. But he was pointing out we've got certain guys in our gym that are just blessed. There's a family of guys that are blessed with like the best genetics. What's their surnames? What's their surnames? Motors. There's a guy called Alton who competes in our gym. He does kind of the men's physique. I think he won the British or something. Okay. Tiny waist, fantastic physique. And then his brother, he's got Emmanuel on the other end of the scale. He's like huge. His arms are like this big and like crazy physique. And then another brother who doesn't go to the gym, but he's living in South Africa now. Genetically blessed, the most shreddy person I'd ever seen. Really? Anyway, this guy walked in and says, I want to look like that guy, but a bit better. And this is Alton, the most genetically gifted guy ever. He was being realistic, and I was like, "Are you being serious?" He goes, "Yeah. Do you reckon I could look like that?" And I was like, "No, not really, but I could make you look good." I said, "What about like this guy here? This guy looks really good." "No, but I want to look like that. That's why I come to you." It's like some people are really unrealistic, and I'm like,
that's the thing, isn't it?
And he's saying you got no chance, and then they're on a downer. But I could have lied and says, "Okay, yeah, you can look like him, but
you got to be realistic."
He would have seen himself not looking like that.
It's amazing, always, isn't it? It's like but it's like okay then, but even if you could get near to it, have you got the mental capability to really put together the pieces? Do you really think
he could have picked somebody in just good shape in the gym, but he must have picked. And that guy is probably the most genetically gifted guy in the whole gym. You know what I mean? It's like, you might as well have said, it's not me saying, "Oh, Phil Heath there, I want to look like that."
Yeah.
Can you get him to look like that?
Well, you can only look as good as you're going to look, isn't it? You know,
exactly.
the idea is you go in the gym, train as hard as you can, and then make sure you back it up with good nutrition. And let's be honest about it, everyone, you know, and I know half the time when people are outside the gym, and we've come across quite a few over the years. Yeah, really, you're doing what I'm trying to tell you. You're not being. It's like.
Can I just interrupt you there, guys? We're just coming up to an hour now. Just got a couple of questions fired in from social media, if that's all right.
Yeah, why not?
Jake from Lancaster. Lancaster Uni, actually.
All right.
What's the best way to start to train to build muscle without any fitness background? Starting from scratch.
Total scratch.
Well, just getting your foot in the gym is going to be the first step. I mean, just getting in the gym, whether starting on the weights, but you need a good eye to look after you, like to watch over you, because you want to be shown the right way to do stuff from day one, and not just, where some people think you can just come in, get a feel of all the machines, but because you're a beginner, you already start developing them bad habits, and they're hard to break out of. So it's just my first advice would be to, on your first day, get somebody, whether it's somebody who works in the gym or the trainer, to at least show you the right way how to do some machines, get a program with that, and then just follow like a basic program, even a couple of times a week, a 2-day split gyms, like upper body one day, lower body another day, a little bit of cardio, and then the main thing is just eating. The main thing is like the eating, making sure that you're eating like a balanced diet, and that eating rubbish to go with it. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. I mean, obviously you don't go in like a bull in a china shop, because that can be all, people fall victim to their eagerness to want to change, and that's where the pitfall falls, and then they go in all out, and then it's like all or nothing, and they're aching, they're killing themselves, and it puts them off. I think the other way would be an all-over workout where you, like you say, it could be upper or lower, or you could do an all-over body program, and then you could do that a couple of times a week. So, but you change the exercise for the second one.
Yeah.
But you do, and again, that's the format. So you have to ease, and like Lee said, it's paramount that you master technique and form, and that's the key. Ease yourself in. Don't be too, I'm gonna say eager, if you like, and avoid being frustrated. It is a long process.
I mean, people see some of the training videos and things like that online, where you have arm day, you have leg day, you have back day. So what you're saying is try and work, do a mixed bag.
You've got to get the whole body accustomed to training,
and then work into those set days for set parts.
And then look at I mean, because as bodybuilders we split our workouts up so that you're doing chest one day, arms, and so forth. So that comes at a later stage. Yeah, you've got to let the body get accustomed to.
And again, getting the advice from the right person would be key to making that change from doing a bit of a mixed bag on a bi-daily basis to a set day.
Lee's basically said it there. Go to someone who knows the beans, who's experienced, and giving sound, simple, common sense advice, and just master the basics.
Okay. Like if someone new just comes in and starts doing them single day body splits from day one, like the first of all, they're not going to be able to move that one body part. I mean, I've seen it before. Somebody's come in, done a session, and then you've never seen them or come into the gym trained a certain body part from the advice they've been given, and they haven't come back again because they actually went to hospital thinking they damaged themselves because of the pain.
As John knows, I'm not a gym goer.
Yeah.
But I've been into the gym a couple of times and made that mistake. Yeah. And it's not pretty for a good week.
Yeah, well, a friend of mine, he did the same, and he actually beasted it. One of his clients, he must have been trained, but he actually did what I refer to as a good proper leg workout. And they got him on camera, and it was like he couldn't walk or anything. He even went to hospitals thinking there was something wrong. The pain and the DOMS he had was that bad. It was like, I was giggling when he told me.
Well, Jake from Lancaster Uni, I hope that answers your question. Liam from Somerset, has becoming a pro made you approach your training in any different way?
Well, I've always trained with that kind of top pro kind of mentality anyway. So my training is it's exactly the same. But adding that pro in the title, it does mentally kind of make you want to train a bit harder. So whatever whether it's, I always tend to want to push a poundage up or a rep further each time. I want to kind of up kind of numbers in some way or another. Not like a powerlifter, because I don't train like powerlifting. But kind of in that sense, my mentality has changed, and I want to push it harder, but I've always gone all out anyway.
What is your format, if you don't? Because that leads us to a good point. I was going to say with the training side. How is your training broken up? What's your approach? Is it volume mixture? Is it high intensity? Is it low volume? How is it?
Okay, it does. I do work on. I kind of use. I've got a program, a 12-week program, which I try to stick to once every kind of 9 months or so. I can do it once to twice a year because you couldn't handle it any more than that. I'll have to give it you, see if you can handle it, John. No, it's like a period.
I'm retired. That's my excuse.
A period. My own regular training is based around it, but not quite as intense as this. But I train as hard as I can, but it kind of varies on a week-to-week basis. Okay. So I might go really heavier and like lower reps one week.
And what would low reps, when you say low reps, what would the low rep range be?
Okay, say my low reps would be, if I'm going to do my lowest reps will probably be about 6.
Yeah.
But I'm not satisfied finishing a set with 6 reps because I know that 6 reps isn't going to break my muscle down. So well, for me personally, I just feel like 5-6 reps, my muscle's not breaking down. Mm-hmm. I'm getting strong with that, but it's not breaking it down. So I'd either have to go straight into a drop set or do what I call like a back off set where I go light and do something like 20 to 30 reps with it afterwards.
What, straight after your heavy?
Straight, yeah, right, okay. Straight after. So in that sense, and I've kind of mentally I've attacked everything, the strength and the reps. My muscles full pumped. I know I've broken it down, and I know I'm going to get the strength and just the size from it.
So the approach, basically, what I'm roughly reading, forgive me for interjecting, is that you're looking at hitting basically the different types of muscle fibers.
Yes, I'm hitting as many. I like to hit as many muscle fibers as I can in that one session. But on, say, another week, I might I'll back off quite a bit on the weight and just go for a lot of volume. Yeah. So I might, if I'm going for really heavy weight, my working set would just be a final working set. If I'm going less weight and like higher reps volume, I find I can stick in more working sets. Yeah. So I might do like say 2 working sets to failure instead of 1.
But you're working with the lighter weight and obviously in higher. And is that more a case of, are you consciously thinking about the joints as well while you do that?
Yeah, I'm always thinking about the joints, but it's mainly thinking about like just varying the training. Your body I find your body adapts quickly. Okay. I'm not going to say I'm not going to mention any names, but there's people say in our gym they're doing the same thing every week for the last 2 years. I think I've seen them do the same thing. And although they're all good and strong, I haven't really seen any changes because it's just the same thing. But that's what they want to do. I can't change. I've tried to get them to change from that, but that's what they're happy doing. Whereas I know that with me in a 6-week period, I can make a visual change in myself and visual in what I'm pushing. Right. Okay. Because of the variation in my training. So it's like it's always a variation. I go in. I don't have a set plan at the moment. Right. I'll just go in because you might feel weak one day, so why would I do a heavy day that week if I'm feeling drained and weak?
So is it? Do you actually? So I don't know whether I'm right on the take. So you're having one week where it's the heavy with a bit of volume attached, and then the following week you're doing sort of slightly lighter weights and higher volume. Yeah. So you're periodising from week to week, basically.
Yeah, and then I might do a third one where again even higher reps and like to. But it's always about seats.
Well, it's about the work. It's about the working set. Neil Hill's Y3T, isn't it?
But it's all about the working set.
Right. Okay.
So what it's based on, I based it on a workout from Jim Stepani called Shortcut to Size, which I've done a course in.
Right. Okay.
And basically that was like over 4 weeks of 4 different workouts. Right. So it worked concentrated on strength and power and speed, whatever. Okay. But mine's based on that. But I took aspects of that and just created my own kind of program. So it's kind of the reps all go down and the weight goes up, but the working set will be different on each week. So one week the working set might just be rest pause on really heavy weight. Yeah. Then next week it will just be pure drop set. Yep. On the medium week, and then when you go to the and then when you go to the last week, so you start off heavy, light, medium, and then heavy. Yeah. On the heavy one, so when I'm only going to say 5 to 6 reps, the working set will be like 3 rest pauses into 3 drop set on every exercise. Yeah.
That's like, isn't that referred to dog crap training? Isn't that DC training where you're doing rest pause on each exercise? I remember, I might be wrong.
Not as far as I know, because that doesn't involve a lot of pushing and pulling.
I might be getting it wrong. I remember reading somewhere. Yeah. I may be wrong on that one.
So the last set would be, but that's when I'm gonna do my 12-week program. But generally, I follow something similar to that on my own. But it's whatever mood I'm in that week or that day. Okay. But it'll be, if I'm feeling strong, I'll just attack it all heavy. But again, when I've gone heavy, I have to follow it with something to really pump up the muscles and burn it out.
Well, what we said it back in the day, you know, like you got the FST7 and all this, blah, blah, blah. But if back in the day, we were talking like when I was first training, like when it was 30 odd years ago, it was termed as a flush set. Oh, let's do a flush set or flush sets, a couple of flush sets. So just, you've trained really hard, but at the end, you just pick an exercise and you just flush through high volume just to get extra blood going into the muscle. So it's always been around. It's just that the modern era of sort of like come up with these concepts and give it a fancy name. But it's quite interesting.
Well, thank you for that. That was Liam from Somerset. Simon from Fleetwood. This is an interesting one.
You're looking a bit perplexed there, mate.
Yeah. Where did you learn to move like a robot? I think this is referring to your routine.
Yeah, well, do you remember me saying earlier that I didn't? I never said it on air. Was it before air? When I said I'd never watched a bodybuilding show.
You said it on air. Yeah.
I said I'd never kind of been to a bodybuilding show. I didn't know anything about what routines were about. So I just kind of looked on YouTube and kind of taught myself kind of moves off YouTube,
right? Yeah.
To add into my routine. All I knew was what posing moves that Kane showed me, and I didn't know anything about transitions, nothing. Yeah. So I just wanted to know. I just wanted to learn a few fancy moves to stick in to make it entertaining. So literally, it was just like I'd find a YouTube video, learn one or two moves, somehow incorporate them in.
Who was you looking at?
No.
Who was you watching?
There was no one in particular. It was dance moves like Michael Jackson impersonators, or I type in. It could be like robotic movements, or.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
So when was this? This is my universe routine. Yeah. So I always start it off traditional.
Yeah.
With normal kind of like posing to get everyone to look at the physique, and then I'll start to bust out some kind of like robotic kind of moves. Where's the sound gone? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was all from YouTube videos.
So again, I'm getting the. Would you? Wow. If I tried that, it just wouldn't happen. But I mean, was you always? I mean, can you just naturally dance anyway?
No, anyone that knows, I can't. I'm not actually a dancer. I never danced. I've never done any kind of dancing. Based on these, people think I can actually dance. Yeah. Even down to like my wedding, I choreographed a 6-minute wedding dance, which was a mixture of ballroom dancing, which we taught ourselves. Brilliant. Bhangra dancing, like some modern dancing, and Michael Jackson moves, which were all, which I taught myself. Yeah, there you go. Wow. Which I taught myself all from.
That's
like,
a Superman
YouTube
pose
video.
at the end. Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Woohoo! I like that. That's like
literally I was like self-taught from YouTube, and that was kind of up until my first. Like I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. I didn't know who any of the bodybuilders were.
Right. Yeah.
The first bodybuilder I ever knew and met was James Llewellyn.
Yeah.
And that was the year that he actually got his pro card. And we worked on
2008.
Yeah, we worked on a cruise ship together 8 weeks before, or was it 6 weeks before my first show.
You worked on a cruise ship with?
Not work, just for one day. Okay, we both got a day's work. Working in, was it Dover? Yeah. There was a new ship, and they wanted the ship. They wanted the gym demonstrated. Oh, right. Really top of the, really like top spec, kind of like mainly cardio. Yeah. And I remember, like, I didn't know who he was. Yeah. So I'm there showing him exercises and saying, "Oh, this how you do this," because it's mad when you're training. You got this guy that's right up there. Yeah. If I'd have known now who he was, I'd be just asking him only. I wouldn't be showing him how to do stuff. Anyway, I'm showing him how to do core exercises.
Right.
He's taking it on board. Right. Because, he didn't. I don't think he was that glued up on core exercise. I'm showing him core training exercises, and he's showing me how to use 10-kilo dumbbells to destroy my biceps, and I'm like, no chance. And he actually did. Yeah. I couldn't even do 20 reps with a 10-kilo dumbbell. The way he showed me, it kind of changed my mindset.
Real time under tension and that.
And then and then like that year, actually Kane Leatham, because it was Kane. Kane got me this work, and he said you were working with someone called James Llewellyn. He said he's going to win the British this year. That's why he actually said that. Yeah. And I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know who he was, and then he won it. And then kind of we stayed in touch. And he's been a good supporter of mine, and we stayed in touch. And even James has helped me out a few times. Like I checked in at one show, and I was a bit nervous at the first PCA show. Yeah. And I wasn't sure what, I got myself to a certain level, but I didn't know what to do. I said, I'm just going to have some food now, and then I'm going to do a weight training session. And he was like, I was going to have a weight training session and then food, and he advised me to do it the other way around. He said, no, it'd be better if we did it this way. So I did it, and then that's the time when I was on the PCA and was really close to Dave Titterton and the first PCA. I think that was the very first PCA show. Right. And I was like, yeah, because I went in there, because that was like blind. No one knew what that show was all about. Mm-hmm. So you got there's kind of like no nerves because there's nothing to compare it to, nothing to. Just
so James was giving you little tips along the way, but
and then kind of helped me out. But and then remember that PJ show I done. I got second to Dave Titterton, who just won the Pro Universe twice. And one of the judges had contacted me after that show and says that they had me winning the show.
Right.
Yeah, but when they says that I stood out, but not enough in a lot of people's eyes. Sometimes you've got to stand out a bit more.
Not the champion out.
You've got to kind of be a bit even more better than the winner to kind of stand out when they've got that kind of level of. That
really grates me. That, and it happened to me. I got the similar feedback when I did the 2003 Ironman in San Francisco, and one of the judges at the time, and I'm not sure who it was. I roughly it was Ivan Beckles or one of the top. There used to be a top competitor, and he just went, John. He said, "Don't be put off." He said, "Unfortunately, you're right on the west coast of America, the home of where bodybuilding all began." He said, "And unfortunately, you're from the UK." He said, "And sadly, it's about paying your dues in a lot of some people's eyes." And he said, "I had you, 8th at the time, which would have, and it was one of the best lineups, as a pro show goes. It was basically everybody there bar the Mr. Olympia." And it was absolutely, it's a bit demoralising, not enough to stop me from competing. I kept going, but, I'm one of them. If you're good enough, if you're the best man, you're the best man. I don't care who you're up against or what. If you're off on the day, and even if you're the greatest, even if you're Phil Heath, and if you're not the best on the day, sadly, you don't get placed there.
Yeah, of
and,
course,
and that's how that's what really annoys me on that. But just to go back on your, with the routine and that. So, is it how do you sort of like approach? Do you approach doing a routine as? Do you like to be an entertainer? Not in a bad way, but I felt like I want to entertain, but it's about exciting the crowd.
I love that aspect of it because there's people that I've had people travel from different countries to come and see my routine because they know about me, but I just love that entertainment factor. I've put all
that's
that work.
That's a big compliment. Now
I've put it was massive. Some girl was screaming at me. I want to come out of an elevator. Come around just to see me. It's one of the universities, I think.
Get back.
But no, I just love that. Because you've been there, watch shows, and we enjoy bodybuilding. But I fell asleep a few times. And the only thing that keeps me awake is if I see a phenomenal physique that makes me want to, a bit like when Phil Heath walked out in 2011. I was asleep watching it in the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden I jumped up. I was like, "What? Wow. This is what am I seeing here?" That kind of thing. Or when someone's doing like a fantastic routine. Now you see people like Melvin Anthony and
Melvin was absolutely on another level.
Them kind of,
competing without
even
Melvin.
like
he was in the shows I just mentioned in Ironman San Fran.
No,
he's
awesome.
Just. Obviously you can't body pop and dance like that, but there's one routine, if you look at it up, Melvin Anthony, the guy was, and what a great physique.
Yeah, awesome physique. And you got Kai Green as well.
And he was short.
Was he that? I can never, it's hard to tell what the height of
I know, like Kai Green, I just think Melvin Anthony mixed up the routine just right with the posing.
Yeah, he did.
For me, Kai, I think Kai's an awesome physique, and sadly he's not been competing. We're all missing him. But I just think his routines are a bit too much dancey.
Yeah,
because remember, it's called a posing routine.
Yeah.
And for me, the guy who stood out, I like Melvin Anthony, he did the mixture right. But Lee Labrada for me was just simply just sublime to watch. He was my idol when I come to. Posing.
That's like awesome shapes. So throughout the years, I tried some of my slightly older routines. I was influenced. The first half of my routine, where I kind of do as much classic poses as I can. I'd be inspired by people like Lee Labrada and some nice kind of poses. So I'd incorporate some of that. But if I was to do that for a whole routine, the amount of people that would leave disappointed because they know what I would normally do and what I'm capable of.
Your personality
they
now.
Expect to see something, whether it's some kind of robot, there has to be some kind of glide or a popping or a robot, something in there.
But you've got a signature. You've stamped your signature, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, and then so it's kind of what I'm known for.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm at the back of the universe watching throughout the curtains, people doing their routines and they're getting their little cheer.
Yeah.
And then I'll do mine, get this massive cheer. I'll walk back to the class one competitors and all like, I've got to follow that. You know what I mean? It's
nothing
crazy.
worse, is
It's all that feeling of like finishing, hitting that last move on time, and because it's all like because I used to be a music producer as well.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so I had a music studio, and I still keep aspects of it, and I put all my music together. So I put about 4 tracks together, put in my own like sounds, explosions, robotic noises, whatever. Yeah. Compose all that first, and then kind of base my routine around it. And then sometimes do routine, and if it don't quite fit where the music is, I'll have to go back and maybe edit the music and change it.
Right, that's very interesting.
So it's all done from, like I said, it's all planned and done from scratch. So you know what I mean. And that's kind of the part that I enjoy, and it gives me something else to focus on as well, away from the prep.
Yeah.
You just can't be just focusing on that prep, and then that little 1 minute on stage or 2 minutes on stage. I want to make sure I'm only on stage for that time. I want to make it memorable and entertaining.
Lee, do you show anybody your routine before you actually perform it on stage? Does anybody check it over?
No, I don't. Not a single. The only person that ever sees my routines, and not even every time, is my wife. Because sometimes, I go. You might see me on stage. I do these routines, and some of them look really good and like confident. But sometimes I'm not quite sure about it. Yeah. But so the ones I'm not really sure about, my wife will actually help me. I used to do the whole thing in front of her, and she'd actually help me brush it up and say, "Yo, you need to do this move a bit tighter. That wasn't robotic enough. I'll do this." And then sometimes I'll just keep it myself. I'll keep it as a surprise from her as well. Yeah, but she's actually helped me brush up a few of my routines in the past as well.
Like say someone watching from the outside.
But other than outside that, no one's ever seen me do a routine before I've been on stage. And then
do you? I mean, again with your posing, it's very interesting. To get your point of view on this is how much emphasis you place on practicing posing in your routines coming into a show.
Yeah, I do. I try and do as much practice posing as I can. Like, so I try and do, if I can, like 20 minutes a day, I can.
Yep.
And I always encourage that. Now, it's funny because I try and think, okay, the last 4 weeks, that's the time when it's most important too. So I'm really busy saving my PT, doing all whatever I'm doing in my prep. I get to 4 weeks out and I'm that exhausted and tired. I just can't be bothered. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll be fine. I'll do 20 minutes tomorrow. And I wake up and I'll do my cardio. I've got no energy. I know I've got to do more cardio in the evening. But generally, while I've got a bit of energy, I'll do my cardio first and then finish with what I'd normally do every evening for the last 4 weeks. I'll do my, I don't know, because I start off at like 20 minutes cardio when I start prep. Yeah. Cardio is my first sign of me starting prep. I'll just do 20 minutes in the morning. Yeah. Then it probably go up to half an hour. Then I start adding it in the evening, maybe 20 minutes. I never do more than 20 minutes in the evening though, because I've changed the way I do it. I used to do 2 hours, an hour in the morning, hour at night. Right. That's when I went skinny. Yeah. So I do more interval training of an evening just for 20 minutes, like 1 minute fast, 2 minutes slow, or 3 minutes slow, whatever. Yeah. So it's like 21 minutes or something. Yeah. And then I'll do like 3 rounds of compound, and then I'll go for my routine twice, and I try and with the minimal gap. So each time I try and do it with less gap. But the way I do it is, I've got one of my routines on my YouTube channel called, it's the NABBA England 2010. It is not routine, sorry. The compulsory. It's like, how long is it? I don't know. It's like 10 minutes long or something, and we got called out like 3 times. I think it's to compare. So I put that on, and I do it in real time. Okay. So while the judges are calling it, I'm doing the poses. Right. And hold them. Sometimes you don't realise, because if you're doing them on your own, you're not holding it long enough. That's actually very clever, though. Yeah, so I put it on in real time. This the same one. It's such an old video, like really bad quality. That's where I beat Lucas, that one. Yeah. And I just put it on every time. It's like so familiar, like sight every year for the last like 6-7 years. That'll go on. So I did the routine. Then I'll move us around, and I'll just get my breaths in, pretending to move around, then do them again. Then move around, and then it's like sometimes I can't make it to the 3rd time because I'm exhausted. Then by like say week 3, I can find, and then as I'm getting to the show, I can do it as many times as I want. So I know that I'm not going to get exhausted on stage. That's quite clever, that, isn't it?
Never heard of that one before, John.
That's a
great tip.
Very great tip. No, it's a good tip. That
because that was one where I knew we had at one point. I remember holding a pose for, it felt like about 30 seconds, and I'm doing it, and I'm practicing, thinking, hurry up and change the pose, because it's like we're holding it. But I'm thinking if I can do that at least 3 times, then I know that I'm never going to be called out as much as that. That was kind of the most I was. Because
the idea is you master your posing so that you actually can feel composed and relaxed, and you're hitting the poses without any effort in the end.
Yeah, that's right. Because once I didn't do it at all, because I had no energy whatsoever, because I think I over-dieted, I had no energy to pose. So I got on stage, and I remember after, I think it was 3 poses, I was already bending down on the floor, like trying to get some air, then doing some more poses. And I remember watching the door, looking at the entrance of the door, saying, I'm gonna have to go, I can't do this. I was actually watching the door, visualising myself running out of it because I couldn't do the pose, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. So I just thought, oh no, give it a few more seconds, I'm gonna keep going. There's this thing that happens to me, I do one round, and I move us around, and then just some energy just comes from nowhere, and I can do it again.
Adrenaline kicks in then.
But I swear, I was that close to running, and I actually won the show.
Right.
And I always thought to myself, because I was that close to running away, that I wouldn't have got a place.
Really?
But I was that bad, and I thought, okay, after that, I know I need to practice, because it's such a horrible feeling when you, I mean, there isn't any workouts that can prepare you for that.
No, they can't.
No workouts.
People, you're trying to explain to people how tough posing is and practicing, and when you're up there and you're absolutely goosed.
Because you're literally tensing like every muscle in your body all at once. It's not an easy thing to do.
Well, you're saying, like, again, from the rear though, you're like tense calves, hamstring, glutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything. And you see people, and when they've never done it, or they're out of sync, and it's like bloody. And all you hear in the audience, and we used to scream, glutes. You hear it, glutes, hamstrings. Keep it tight. You know, that's all you hear, don't you? But it's true. It's bloody hard work. It really is hard work.
It's that feeling. Just it's kind of scary thinking about it now because it's been a while, but. Getting that fitness up, you've got to get stage fit.
You've been there before, you've been right. What we got? We've got another one.
Yeah, just one last one. Dan from Kent. Does prepping become easier the more often you do it, or should it be the opposite way around?
For me personally, I think it actually gets like harder because you're trying to better yourself each time. So to better yourself, you kind of, to get into better shape for each show, you got to suffer a bit more. I don't know if you agree for yourself.
Well, I'm going to actually I'm going to go the opposite way on that, because when you've never dieted for a show before, by God, it's the biggest wake up call you'll ever have. You're going to go to a place you've never been before, and it will be, and if you're going to get in proper shape, which I was, well, shall we say, privy to understanding from the off when I saw the likes of Gary Shelmerdine and Ian Atkinson, especially, as I mentioned before, when I went round to Better Bodies with Kerry, and I was told under no circumstances, like, this is what you've got to be. And I was looking at Ian Atkinson, and it was just like tissue skin. He was absolutely peeled. So I knew straight away what I had to look like, how it looked in real life to life. I was like, what the hell's this? This is not right. And so I pushed myself, and the first year I ever competed, I won all the shows I did. It was the Latham's First Timers UK champ, and then the British twos and intermediates. It was, as they say, it was separate. So I won the overall on both of them, but I was absolutely shredded. And I mean, it was a dark place. I wasn't the nicest person to be around when I dieted. I'm going to ask you about that anyway. But I was. I was just so driven and focused, but I mean, it wasn't pleasant. But I found towards the end, it was I'd mastered it, if I like, the process, and I learned in the latter years I could be a bit more relaxed in myself, and so I said to myself, I know how to train hard, I know I've got to do cardio, I know how to eat, just relax. And that was the biggest part for me. And I purposely, when I used to go into shows, I used to make myself become this kind of monster in a way. I had to be like ruthless and focused, and in a way I made myself this miserable person. And you know, at times it was horrible to be around. I mean, a lot, you know, when over the years, and people be like, too right, who know me, you know. And looking back, it's quite sad in a way. Yeah.
So it can work kind of both ways.
It can, yeah. I mean, but I understand what Lee's saying, because what you're trying to do is chase that getting better condition, but. From the offset, I understood, I mastered condition from the off. It was just about, for me, it was about controlling this beast and monster within. And that I was so driven and focused, I'd become so distant and horrible to be around at times.
Still dieting now, John?
What are you trying to say?
See, for me, I've always been fighting that slightly better condition every time, so it's kind of had to push myself a bit harder. But that being said, my last prep I did for 2016 Universe was kind of the most easiest prep I'd done. because it was like I'd figured out that I could turn my oats and protein egg whites into pancakes and waffles. And it looked so unhealthy, but it was the most healthiest thing in the world. That I literally, my first meal, last meal, pancakes and waffles. And people were like, how are you getting in shape on that? And as well, it was just mentally so good. I was coming into the show like amazing, best size, best condition ever. The only reason why I didn't do so well in the, when I say I didn't do so well, I think I made 7th in the pro universe, but I know I could have made top 4 or 5, but it's not an excuse. I was actually sick as a dog that day. I was throwing up on that day of that show. And
they all say this.
What had happened? No, I was throwing up. And what happened was...
What caused that then? I mean, what
I don't even know what caused it, because I had this plan worked out, which I'd used it before, because I didn't carb up, or increase my carbs, nothing. I kept my diet kind of level going into the show. And my carb up any carb up was based on the morning, the day of that show, like 6 hours before. I was going to get as much food in as I could. Yeah. I knew it was going to work because it worked before. So I waited, and it was like I knew I wasn't going to get on stage till about 11 o'clock. So we booked a restaurant at 3 o'clock, and I was all these goodie bags and stuff that I'd use to stuff my face with, get it all in, and then I was just kind of let it sit and relax, and then.
So was you eating? So these goodie bags, were you eating food that your body was not accustomed to for the?
No, well, I never got to eat anything.
All right,
because this. It's stuff I'd normally eat on a weekend anyway. Like
even when you was dieting,
a cheat meal, like a cheat meal, stuff that I would eat. But basically, we got to this restaurant, and I couldn't even eat one thing, not one piece of meat, no nothing. My literally appetite just went, and I went in the car park. I started feeling sick and throwing up.
Right.
And I was like, and then I said to Cam, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I can't eat, because you need to eat. Your whole prep's just been based on this meal.
That's demoralising, that, isn't it? That'd be audible.
So it's like, what? And I'm thinking, why have I done this? I've done my prep in such a way that relied on this one meal that I couldn't eat. Anyway, so I couldn't eat it, but I tried to eat sweets. Just get some sugars good enough. Yeah. I know I've got backstage at that Pro Universe. My legs somehow, don't ask me why, but my legs looked fantastic. Like my legs looked full and ripped, but my upper body was flat as a pancake, like so flat. I couldn't even get a pump. Press ups, no matter what. Yeah. And then that kind of, even though you'll see there's a video of me with the Fabian Mayer who won the overall at the uni. And
the Austrian kid. Is it the Austrian kid?
Yeah,
lovely shape.
Me and him looked very similar to like side by side. It looked like it could almost gone either way, but for us in the pro. But I was like, my upper body was just like, I know it was way too flat, but my legs looked immense. And normally it's the other way around. I normally lose it in the legs,
right?
And my upper body would stay. But So,
but you still don't know it. It's just one of them where you might have just got I don't know, a bug or something. I don't know. You know?
But leading up to that point, it was just like so much, because I feel like I've done it that many times. I found a simple way. Yeah. Drinking. That was when I started drinking my greens.
Right.
And making pancakes at my breakfast, and it was like. It's like sometimes me and Cam would go to the cinema and she'd like popcorn and stuff like that. And I was like, well, we don't have popcorn anymore. So what I'd do is I'd make some protein waffles and take them to the cinema. Yeah. And that'd be the last meal. So I'm eating my normal meal. We're enjoying it in the cinema. We're putting a scoop of the protein that tastes nice in there, maybe a bit of peanut butter as well. And I'm just like, it's like a nice treat.
The thing is that doing something like that, at least when you open up the Tupperware box, it doesn't stink. I've gone into a cinema when that was getting run out. I didn't care. I was like, I've got my baked potato or rice with me chicken and my broccoli, and you open up and you could. Oh, I was like, well, sorry.
That's definitely answered those questions. Just one from me. You've mentioned films and movies and cinema. Favourite film, Lee?
My number one favourite film, I think, would be The Shawshank Redemption. Yep. That's just my movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, was that not voted the number one film of all time?
It was on independent IMDb, but I don't know if it's still
the case.
Still there.
Great film.
Favourite actor or actress?
Actor, there isn't a favourite actor. There's like quite a few of them. Like I like Morgan Freeman. Yeah. But I like Jason Statham as well. I mean, I just like his movies. But people like that actor, like really good actors, like Denzel Washington. He's one of them. He's probably my number one actually. Yeah. Denzel Washington. Yeah, he's a really good actor.
What's your favourite Denzel Washington film then?
Favourite. What's that? I like that John Q. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I think.
Where he has to get, I think he has to get a heart for his son. He got out of the hospital.
Yeah, that was a cracking film.
Really good movie. Yeah. Like all of these, like some of them I forget the name of. Like there's one where he's chasing a guy that's jumping between different bodies, and he can't catch him because he's kind of like soul or whatever it is, he's jumping out into another. Whenever he touches somebody, he becomes that person. So he's like chasing him all the way through.
No,
it's quite an old movie.
And that's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know that because I like my movies as well. I must admit. So do you like films that sort of like also get you thinking a bit?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was Matrix. I love the Matrix.
And when it comes to prep time, though,
I'm with you.
Matrix was my number. So that used to be my number one, and then they moved to my number two.
Right.
Because when I seen that in the cinema, that was just one of the things. It just blew me away.
It was a game changer, wasn't it?
It was a bit like when Philippe walked out in 2011 again.
Yeah.
That look, I was like, wow.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was that moment. I was like, I had to keep my eyes like proper wide open for that movie.
Was you like that afterwards, thinking? Looking for a glitch or a woman in a red dress or something like that, you know, like it's we're in a simulation.
I've watched that once or twice. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, just
trying to work it out.
Yeah. Well, obviously from the body. How many years have you been competing now? Then
okay, I compete. I actually compete. I've been competing for 8.5 years, but it's like 9.
So you started quite late.
Yeah, I was 31 when I did my first show.
So what was you doing? I mean, let's go back a little bit. What was you like at school? Was you sporty and?
Okay, I actually started off as a gymnast. I used to compete in gymnastics, which a lot of people don't know about.
You see what I mean? So Josh Maley was the swimmer.
Yeah.
So Josh was in the pool at the Olympics.
And you're Olympic team here.
Olympic team.
Yeah.
So you was a gymnast.
I used to do like the floor work. So I was really good. Somersaults, back somersaults.
So nobody could dance and pose like that. He's saying I don't dance. No, you're just a gymnast. Though.
No, I used to be less than 13 stone then.
Right.
And then I must have hit 14, 15. Grew way too tall. Got heavy, and then that was it. I couldn't. The last time I ever tried a backflip, I dislocated my shoulder and couldn't use it for 6 months.
Really? And how old was you then when that happened?
21, I think it was. 21, 22. Yeah.
So how often was you actually training as a gymnast?
I was doing it because it was like a school thing. I was doing it after school, about 3 evenings a week. But at the same time I was doing that, I used to do twice a week athletic training as well because I was a high I and a triple jumper as well. I used to compete in high jump. And what used to be the pole that everyone could jump over.
Yeah, I was, yeah. Oh, that was a quick mental, wasn't it? Like it's getting hot now, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, so would you say that the training you did for gymnastics certainly helped with your strength as well?
Yeah, it did.
Because you look at them physiques, I think that you look at the gymnast and you're like, even now, as you know, being doing what and done what I did as a body, I still look at these physiques and go, that's bloody amazing.
Because I was doing like I started weight training when I was say like a big 16, 17, properly when I was 17, but I was still I was kind of backing off the gymnastics then because that's when I started getting a bit too tall. Right. You've got to be short, so you've been amazing as a gymnast.
And there goes another short joke.
The shorter you are, the better because the low centre of gravity.
Okay.
And I could never do more than one somersault or one back somersault because of my height.
Yeah.
And because I just found it because I couldn't progress. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore.
Right.
But I did really enjoy it because I used to like turn up at like fairs and carnivals and stuff, and people would be surrounding me while I was like seeing how many backflips I could do in a row, like just stuff like that. And I'd be standing on building like fences and like double somersaulting off and stuff like that, which I've been able to do for years. I wouldn't even attempt again.
Right.
But yeah,
so then
the training from I had a gymnastics teacher called Mrs. Small. She name was. She used to. I didn't know anything about eating then. I just used to train hard, do my training. I didn't know nothing. Even when I got into bodybuilding, I didn't even know how to eat.
So I think we're all the same, really.
And she used to she used to come watch me at the canteen, and I'd have like a pie and chips. And she was like, you need to get more meat if you want to get the muscle. And I didn't understand what she was talking about. I just thought, but this is meat, it's a chicken pie or something like that. Right. And that's all she used to say every day. Like, you need more meat, you get meat on your bones. Because I was so skinny.
Yeah.
And then I just never took that advice on board. And then when I did start bodybuilding, all I used to eat was pasta with a tin of beans in it. I don't know where I got it from.
Right.
That's what I thought you had to eat. And me and my friend, a guy that got me into training called Russell Bishop, we trained at school together, and it was just we both used to eat pasta and beans, then go to the supermarket.
And how old was you at this time?
17.
So obviously you didn't compete though till you was in your 30s.
Yeah.
So you was actually thinking about wanting to become a bodybuilder.
I saw Dorian. I bought a magazine, and Dorian Yates was on the front cover, black and white picture, like side tricep, like granite, like proper detailed tricep. And I was just like, so that was the man at the time. So that's who you used to have to look up to. Yeah, like Dorian Yates, that was like the main man at the time. So so obviously he was Mr. Olympia around the time when I was 17. Yeah, and then we used to go to the supermarket, get like a yogurt, one of them flavourless yogurt. We tried to eat it. I don't know where. We must have had an article in a magazine or something, because we ate this like the yogurt that's got no flavour to it, like a normal yogurt.
Yeah, the natural yogurt.
Like sour.
Yeah, natural yogurt.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So then we bought a tin of fruit and tipped that in it, which kind of defeated the object anyway, full of sugar and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I was eating every day. Pasta and beans with this yogurt. It was just like, I was still getting some progress somehow.
Yeah.
There was no protein in it whatsoever.
So it's looking back in it, you just think, God, I wish I knew. I wish I had someone like me now to guide you, and you was that age.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So it's but that was 17. So it took you quite a long time, didn't it?
I wasn't training fully. I was on and off.
So what was you doing in between that time up to when you was? What was your main interest?
I'd probably train for a couple of years, and then I'd do, and then I'd be off because I was. I don't even remember what I was doing around them times, but I spent a lot of the time in music because I was music producing. So I used to do a lot of I do a lot of performances as well, because I actually used to be a singer as well.
Really?
I used to do a bit of singing. You can don't look for it, but one of my tracks is on my YouTube channel that I did. But yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, that I did in 2007.
Really? So I mean, was it just something as a hobby then? I mean, no,
it was just because that was my highest achievement score. Like I got an A in my A level in GCSE in music, and I thought that's where I'd.
It's really weird you should say that, because my daughter wants to get into music, but was talking about music production as well.
So I left. Literally, all I was doing was just studio stuff, recording artists, making music all the time. And then
was there any big name artists you'd worked with?
No, me and one of my friends had done. I don't know what there's 4 members of a band called Blue.
Right.
We'd done a song, we'd done a tune, a music for one of the guys that are Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was, Duncan or so. I don't know, Lee, I think his name was. Which I can forget that's my name. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but have you heard of Blue? Have you? Yeah, I'm trying to think.
You've not heard of Blue?
I'm trying to think.
John, you're showing your age now, man.
I might be. I've heard of Laurel and Hardy and all that. That's a comedy act, but I mean, Led Zeppelin and
they were big a few years back.
Yeah.
So we've got Anthony Costa, Duncan James, Lee Ryan, and Simon Webb. It's one of those. One of those.
Yeah.
Do you not remember it?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think of the name.
I'll pull a picture up of Blue for you.
Pull a song or something. I don't know.
Quite handsome looking guys.
Sing
as well.
you can sing. Sing us a tune.
There you go, John. You don't remember these?
Actually, I think vaguely.
So that looks like Calvin Hind on the left hand side there.
It does, doesn't it, a bit, actually? Yeah, it does, doesn't it, then? Yeah, I must admit that. Wow.
Calvin was a member of Blue.
Calvin will give you a shout out, man.
There Calvin. It does, doesn't it?
Is that Duncan? Is that Duncan?
Yeah, Duncan's the second one. Then you've got, is it Simon? What's his name, Simon?
Simon Webb. Simon Webb.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that for years, just producing people, and then I wanted to further my knowledge and my just get more qualifications in it.
Yeah.
And anyway, I met up with someone who's running some course to further I wanted to get more into the sound engineering and production and stuff.
Yeah.
I went to see some specialists who listened to my stuff I was already doing, and all they said to me was, I don't think there's anything I can do for you because it sounds that good. You seem like you already know what you're doing.
Right.
You could go on this course, but I don't think you'd learn anything from it. And I just thought, okay then. So I just carried on doing what I was doing, but it was it's the same with everything. I just got bored of it after a while.
Right.
And I was making a bit of money from it, but not enough, because in music you've got to reach a certain level to be earning money that you can actually live and survive on.
I mean, and then when you get that mode, you're going to burn big money. I suppose you can as well, but it's breaking that, isn't it? I suppose
it's a really difficult industry. Just back in track, and nobody wants to know about me, but I used to be in this similar sort of game as what Lee was with the music industry and producing and things like that. And it's kind of what led me into doing other things with tech.
Yeah.
But who was your musical inspiration, if you had one?
Music, singing, because when I done a bit of singing, I used to really love Craig David. Back in people like you don't know Craig David is.
I do. I know Craig David. Yes, we know your name, Craig David.
Singers like Lionel Richie and
I like Lionel.
What's that? The guy who was blind. What's his name?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. He was the number one. He was the one.
Superstition.
But number 2, Michael Jackson was the number 1.
Yeah.
But Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, singing wise, that was.
So he was your favourite.
But when I was around the time producing music, it was Craig David was the one, which you say you don't know.
I do know. No, I went. I can't. I just can't take to him. I just was sick to death of him repeating his name in the early years.
Yeah.
It was Bo Selector, wasn't it? Who
You're thinking of Bo Selector, not?
Yeah, no, because I
David.
went to see him in concert once. Just got tickets given to me, and I had to get out. I left early. Right. It just did. But it goes to show you, doesn't it? That we're all different in taste.
Yeah.
It's just probably me being an old stalwart, but just
what do you listen to now, John?
I listen to, you know what, anything. I mean, I went to Ibiza last year, first time ever. It was rocking. It was brilliant. It really was.
You party animal.
Yeah, I was actually. I'm making up for all the lost time that I've been such like this cocoon monster. It's like boom. But no, I like anything from seriously classical. I'm not too in love with the way the music industry is now.
It's up and down,
too much that
I've got off it.
Reality
I
TV
can't listen
type.
too much anymore now because it's all like that auto-tune voices. Like no one's singing anymore.
I like that's why I look back and you look at your Led Zeppelins and you look at Queen. I mean, Freddie Mercury for me, as a live singer goes, I don't think there's not many will top that.
We actually saw the show based on him in London called We Will Rock You. Me and my wife did a few years ago. It's amazing.
Great. I've heard that's a great
really, really
stage.
Good.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Actually, I must admit that.
Yeah, awesome that was.
So I mean, so then obviously, from there, I mean, so you was training a bit, then and then you just eventually found yourself falling into bodybuilding to compete. Simple as that.
It's like remember you saw them pictures of me getting in shape. That was originally to impress my now future. Well, it was going to be my future wife at the time.
See. Always a call to action.
But that was, I think, because
baby.
I got into even better shape because it was actually part of my wedding speech. This whole conversation about how I seen her and wanted to get into better shape and for her to compliment me each week and all that. It's all.
But doesn't it? But there was a reason. There's something there. There's always a reason as to why.
Of course. But that was, you saw the pictures there. For someone who weren't competing, they got into a good shape.
Brilliant shape.
I didn't suffer for one day in that prep. That was just like the most easiest thing ever done. So when it come to the time to compete, I thought, well, this is going to be easy. My first prep, I didn't even get into as good a shape as that.
So why was that?
I just found it must be, I don't know, it just was so much harder when it was actually for a competition.
But I mean, if you'd done it once and you found it easy, did you do anything different?
Because the first time, there was no pressure at all. I could have pulled out of it any time I wanted. Yeah. Whereas there was that focus, I had to get in shape for that competition. And it just, I don't know, it just changes the whole thought of it. Yeah, it's a lot more stress.
I mean, I was openly honest there. I mean, people will just go, even my mates used to go, we'll see you in a bit, John. How were you when you were dieting? And, are you pretty chilled, or can you be a bit?
I'm not actually. I don't think I'm that bad. I mean,
that's I love that one. That's what I'm not that bad. I mean, I've lost a few clients leading up to some of my shows, but that's only they've got to understand me. Like I get a bit ratty, and sometimes, but not that.
2 weeks.
That's pretty good. Because I can, usually I found that towards once you get to that stage, I've gone past it, but I've done all the damage. I've looked in the mirror and gone, oh, did I cause all that? It's like, oh no. I look back and they just shake my head sometimes.
Well, I think we've come full circle there on the conversation, don't we?
We have, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to drop in before we close up, if that's all right. And you can have some finishing remarks if you like. Yeah. But we've got a winner for our pre-workout comp that we did on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
To win a NAPPA Menace and Nuke pre-workout combo.
Okay.
And the winner, chosen entirely at random, is John Raynar on Facebook.
Didn't say where he's from.
Don't say where he's from, no.
Well done, John.
But John Raynar, thank you very much for entering the podcast competition, and we'll send you a message on social media shortly to get that prize. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I wanted to add, there's something that I wanted to add in about, because I mentioned Dave Titterton earlier.
Yeah.
Because it was, I've gone through these kind of like rivalries with different. There's been certain rivalries with me and certain bodybuilders, good ones, not like bad rivalries. And Josh Maley being one of them, which I quickly got onto. But it was Dave that I think got me winning the overall Britain and the universe, because I wanted to ask a bit of advice of him, and he was a little bit negative towards me a couple of times. That kind of pushed me to be even better. Was he
holding back from you? You mean?
No. Okay, there was a show 4 weeks out from the Britain. It was like I think Josh did the class 1 qualifier for the Britain, and I didn't need to qualify because I don't know how I'd qualified, but I did the Pro-Am. That was it. I did a Pro-Am. I didn't need to win it. You only had to make the top 6 in the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd always beat, like Josh was always on my tail.
Yeah.
He'd never beaten me. And then I knew I wasn't ready 4 weeks out for the Britain. And I think I got 5th and Josh got 4th in his Pro-Am. Anyway, we left in the parking lot afterwards, and then Dave was talking to Josh and everybody, and he was like, you get a bit tighter, like, you could win this Britain, you could, you know what I mean, I can see you winning this Britain, like no one coming close to you. And I was there listening in the background thinking, hold on a minute, I've seen Josh, he looked ready, like he don't look like he can improve much more than that. I know I've still got 4 weeks of improvements to make. And then I thought, you're right, so I got on, just killed it in every way that I could. I find I can get away with extreme stuff for 4 weeks without it being detrimental to me. Anyway, I got on the stage, and then Vince again was one of the judges, said, what the hell did you do in that last 4 weeks? You look like a totally different person. You won the overall.
So go on, what did you do?
Second. I just literally done just hammered the car. Apart from, I know that my wife she went away for a couple of weeks, so there was a bit less distractions as well.
That's that one, isn't it? Hey, get one.
So I probably wasn't having as many cheat meals and stuff like that, and I could just focus on the train. I just focused on the training.
Oh, brilliant!
Focus on the training. And
Your fault.
I literally done a 2 hours cardio a day, really low intensity. Yeah. And I'd done this carb cycling thing when it was just like keeping my carbs low all week and having 2 days where my carbs were high. Yeah. So I go low, high, and then low, high. And I just kept doing that. Yeah. Up to show day. Good, and then looked fantastic. Anyway, that Pro-Am, that PCA show where Dave beat me, and I got second to him. I spoke to him at the show. I said, "What do you think of my chances are winning this universe?" He went, "Lee, man, I don't know, man." He's like, "You just that thing, you just there. I don't know, man. You're back. You're hard from the front, but that back." He said, "You need to get to a dark place." And I was thinking, "Okay, I'll show you." It was like I could tell that he didn't think I could do it. Okay. So I got away and I thought, this dark place. Anyway, within about a week and a half, I could feel what he was talking about because I just felt it, hit it.
Oh, I know that dark place.
Yeah. Then I hit it. I mean, I came back and then I knew I was in my best shape, and I come and won that universe. And I couldn't have got into any better shape. I remember Simon Fan saw me backstage because he'd done his class, and then he was helping me kind of tan up a bit for my class. And he looked around at the other class ones. Josh was one of them. He looked around and he went, "I'll see you later with your pro card," because he could just tell, you know, you just kind of knew, they kind of look, and it kind of made me feel good. I went into there winning there, but I was just looking at a post that Dan Wellburn, who won the university year before I did. He put a post up of some of his old pictures, and you got Mark Getty, who was another amazing class 1 guy. We all had a really good rivalry. It was always me, Mark Getty, Dan Wellburn, Stuart Garrington. Yeah, there was kind of like all us always like. It's a really good competitive rivalry. You know what I mean? And it was like I used to think I was in competition with Stuart Garrington, because in my second year, 2009, I got 4th in the Britain and he got 6th. And I beat him, and then I think he'd beat me like the year afterwards on a show. So I thought, okay, 1 each, and then he just kept beating me after that, and I thought, okay, I might as well scrap him as a rival because he just keeps beating me now. Right, and then it was like, and then it was Dan Wellburn. He's the one who was always behind me. He was like behind me, and then Josh kind of joined in on that as well. And it's like Dan and Josh, them two like behind me the whole time, and I'd like beat him every single time. And then the one time when I never got it right, Dan Wellburn wins it, and that's when he won the universe. I didn't even place in that one, I think, because I totally messed it up. Right. I think I'd done well in 2014, and then, you know, when I said I did that 2 hours cardio, well, I thought to myself, if that worked for the last 4 weeks of the Britain, that might work for the whole 12 weeks leading to the universe. Right, so I'd done the whole. And you ended up losing a lot of muscle. Yeah, I lost everything. Literally went in there looking like, I think I weighed about 12 stones. Nothing. So I reversed it totally the opposite and done the least amount of cardio I could, ate more, and then I looked fantastic with the universe. But I think this is the thing I've always said to people: you don't realise how much food you can get away with when you're dieting, because you're a unit. And I think that's, for me, one of the biggest keys is not to starve yourself. Yes, food. You know, and the people are afraid to do cardio. And for me, I'd say my goal was keep my food up. I was dieting anything from 320 to nearly 400 grams of carbs, but my cardio, I wouldn't be afraid to hit the cardio. So I'd make sure that I'm eating plenty, that's firing up my metabolism, and then the cardio on top. Because a lot of people say, if you do too much cardio, you lose muscle. I say, well, now we've got to lose body fat. You know what I mean? I don't want to starve it off. I'd rather burn it off.
and then keep everything, and then they've got options then, you know, as well. So, you know, that's how my approach was always for the. So I'm only just saying, no, you're a big man. Get eating, mate. You should be eating 100 grams of oats every morning for me.
No,
have a John Hodgson size.
Yeah, no, if my weight's already going up, I know that's fine, but I will have to eat more.
Yeah, but you can afford to. And I think you think about it. I mean, you know, for me, it was the old adage of 2 or 3 grams of carbs per pound of body weight. And, you know, and I would never be afraid of eating, you know, big amounts. But again, that's why I was always doing the cardio in the off season as well, because I found that when I didn't do cardio, I'd become sluggish. So off season for me, you know, good 3 cardio sessions a week would always maintain.
I'm eating 2 or 3 pounds of carbs per body weight, but it's per lean body weight.
Per lean body weight. Just up it a little bit. So you'll get away with it, fatty. Don't worry.
I was going to make it aware that I've just recently changed my Instagram.
Please, You'll say social media following, yeah.
Yeah, because I had I've just recently, I think it's been 4 weeks now, set up a new Instagram account.
Yeah.
So it was elite_Atlas_Pro. NABBA Pro, where is it? Yeah, but my old one, I had an old one with a similar name. I've changed it now to closing account because people are still following it.
Yeah.
But I had like 16,000 followers, but I had a lot of really shit followers, like stalkers, crap messages.
Well, what was you getting? Come on, what's it? I want to know the best message. This is leading us. Come on, what was the best message you received, and what was should I say the worst message?
I get all the same messages like all the other top bodybuilders get about. People wanting to photos or even pants and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
the sock was it? John's got the sock one.
They want to give me £20 million for a photo now. 2,000 euros for photos and stuff. Everybody gets them ones. Well, people wanting like
you're sending me PayPal details.
People wanting used items of underwear and stuff. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the money from the last one that I sent.
You see what I mean? though? That's the thing, innit? You actually oblige and you get bugger all in return. You got to make sure the money goes in first and then you send it. You know what I mean? So
I created the new one. I wanted to try and get rid of all the crap off there, but there's no quick way of doing it. It takes too long. You can't. There's no people that are non-engaging. All my stuff is going to them, and not the people that are actually interested in following me. So I've set up a new one, and now it's time for. So I'm still reposting a lot of the stuff from the old one.
Yeah,
and this one's not going much better. I can engage with people better now as well.
Right.
We'll put your Instagram handle in the description on YouTube.
On the link, I was going to say that'd be a good idea. Yeah, definitely. So what's your focus this year? Is the NABBA Pro Universe again?
Yeah, because I think there's a few. I know
you and Josh.
So the thing is that rivalry's going to be back.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, Dan Wellburn and Mark Getty was in the last one.
Yeah.
But I know that they didn't. I don't think their preps went as to plan either.
Right. Okay.
They didn't. They wasn't in the first couple of call outs or anything like that. But I know Dan Wellburn's doing it. He just posted, so that would be good to compete against him again. I'm not sure about Mark Getty. With Mark Getty, you know, when I said I won the overall Britain, the Worlds was a week later, so I went in there confident that I'm going to win that because someone from Britain always won that class one of the Worlds, mainly anyway. So I've gone into it thinking, this is mine. I came in 75%. All of us that competed at that Britain all looked like a bag of crap a week later because we must have used some extreme methods or something to get into it. Anyway, I didn't realise Mark Getty was just going into that show because he kept quiet and he comes on looking dangerous. Yeah. He wins the show, wins the overall, gets his pro card, wins the pro. You know what I mean? Just smashed it, and I got second, and I was like wounded, thinking, oh no. But then I knew, I'm so glad I didn't win it then, because I would have been pro. I'd never been have the chance to win the Mr. Universe, you see.
Yeah.
And we all want to win it as the Mr. the class one, the Universe title.
But it's like with when I said to earlier, you don't learn when success is continuous. It's when it doesn't go right, isn't it?
You always have to assess what went wrong. Yeah. And then just refocus and get it back for that Universe.
It's not stopped you though, has it? So
no.
Here you are, 2018. And then, so your main focus is going to be the NABBA Pro Universe, is it?
Yeah, because Josh will be doing it.
Josh is going to be doing it. He certainly is, isn't he? So it's going to be
me, Josh, Dan, and
interesting.
But I'm fighting for that top 3 spot. So I hope Josh has got his A game on.
Oh, I love it! Fighting talk. Let's get it on.
I was talking about Josh. He's the only bodybuilder I know that isn't following me on Instagram, any of my Instagram channels. So he needs to get following me.
Who's that? Which
Josh?
Josh is he not? Oh, Josh. Josh.
I only just found out, even on my
Let's
old
have
one, he
it.
wasn't following me. I don't
Really?
think I'm good enough to follow, so.
It's lovely, innit? Social
I keep
media.
giving him, I keep
what
giving
it
him hints
does.
by liking his posts. So, Josh, look, this is Lee. NABBA Pro, I'm still here.
I love it. Right, listen. I think it's been marvellous. I've really enjoyed just getting to know you, Lee. I mean, it's been a pleasure. Now, you got a blue or black?
Yeah, my favourite colour's blue. So.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go, darling. Please. Signature.
Okay, we'll do it. I'm left-handed as well.
Yeah.
So I'll do like this. You know, the typical was here.
Yeah.
That's it.
There we go.
This was the 2018 is my year.
Atlas.
Yeah.
What is that?
Hmm?
Atlas. What's that? Is that?
That's been my name since I started bodybuilding. Atlas. It was Kane Lethan was teaching me some poses, and we'd done a side tricep pose, and somehow it was like a side tricep. Then I went into this pose. Right?
Oh, where they
the
hold the
Atlas.
ball.
Yeah,
Atlas.
yeah.
Stone.
But the day after my first show, I did like a short film of when I had to play Atlas,
Right.
and it kind of stuck with me. Yes, it stuck. So kind of Kane named it me, and then that's how everybody kind of knows me. So
Well,
yeah.
on that note, Mr. Atlas, it's been a pleasure, buddy.
Nice chatting to you.
Likewise. Steady. I love it.
Thanks,
Nice
Lee.
one, Lee.
Appreciate
Brilliant.
it. Thanks for coming down. Cheers.
Cheers.